Live from Athletic Kulture Stadium in Springwater Township, Baycats TV presents the Inter-County Baseball League. And tonight, it's Game 2 of the IBL Championship Series between the Welland Jackfish and the Barrie Baycats. Hi again, everybody, and welcome. With Julius Hern, I'm Ben Davy. Well, Game 1 was anything but rosy for the Barrie Baycats in the Rose City. Welland Jackfish, wearing their Rose City jerseys, got an early lead off Baycats ace Frank Garces. Frank threw 5 shutout innings to help Barrie get back in the game. They got a 5-5 tie into the ninth, but some small ball put the Welland Jackfish over the top in the final frame.
It's a great approach from the Welland Jackfish, very much in contrast to what the Barrie Baycats were using throughout that game. 3 home runs as a team, 2 of them by Adam On. We've seen how good that he's been in the playoffs, especially in recent memory with those home runs. But like I mentioned, a great approach, starting off with Jonah Weiser getting on base, some small ball, getting him over to third base, and who else but Robert Mullen with the walk-off.
Cesar Rosado is the starter tonight for the Barrie Baycats. He was hot and cold during the regular season, but his last 2 playoff starts against Toronto and Hamilton were both outstanding.
You know, talking to Brian Essery before the game, the Jackfish manager, he told me the last time Cesar Rosado pitched in Welland really didn't look like Cesar Rosado. He said he looked hurt. But since then, you know, he came back from a little bit of an injury. He's had some really nice starts since, and he's coming off one of his best in his IBL career high 13 strikeouts. So we're going to see maybe more of that playoff Cesar as opposed to playoff Frank or playoff Juan.
All right, the Baycats will try to win tonight and shorten this series to a best of 5. We'll have our starting lineups and first pitch for you in just a moment. Danielle May Real Estate, supporting the Barrie Baycats and ready to help with all of your real estate questions. What is your home worth? Should you sell now or wait? Danielle is dedicated to your success. The next time you think real estate, think Danielle May. IBL Championship Series is back in Barrie, and what a matchup this is shaping up to be, with last year's defending champs, the Barrie Baycats, taking on the champions from the previous year, the Welland Jackfish.
Yeah, very much a rivalry coming back from 2 years ago. We saw the Welland Jackfish win their only championship on this field in dominant fashion. And, you know, even though the Baycats won last year, and deservedly so, they want to get back at that team for the way they won in 2023.
Here's the starting lineup for the Welland Jackfish, and 2024 Manager of the Year, Brian Essery. Jonah Wisner's the leadoff man at second base. Gio Morello batting second and center field. Mateo Porcelato in right field bats third. The cleanup man is catcher Robert Mullen. Hitting fifth, DH Jake Sanford. Grayson Barrett holds down the sixth spot at first base. James Smybert batting seventh at third. It's Brendan Luther, the shortstop, batting ninth, and Brandon Hupe, the left fielder, hitting ninth.
We mentioned Cesar Rosado, Baycats starting pitcher in our open, and very much looking like the Cesar Rosado we saw in 2024, who led the IBL in strikeouts. Over the last couple weeks, and especially in the playoffs, that delivery getting much smoother after kind of recovering from an injury. Took one start off, and ever since then, he's really looked like himself again.
Home plate umpire tonight is Jeff Rose. It's Ryan Herron at first base, Chris Marco at second, and Ryan Jackson handling duties at third. On a very comfortable but much cooler September night here in Barrie, our game time temperature 19 degrees, and that temperature is going to drop steadily as we head through the evening. Scattered cloud cover, an early sunset here tonight. Playoff baseball definitely in the air.
Oh, I know when I got to the ballpark today, the sun was like pretty much over the trees out in right field, and you could tell at that moment, it's like, okay, the stakes are higher. It really feels like fall playoff baseball time.
Even around 6:30, 6:45, we were all walking around going, is it 7:30 yet? Is it 7:30 yet? Feels like it should be. So here we go, game two of this best of seven IBL Championship Series. Welland leading the series 1-0 on the strength of a 6-5 victory on Sunday afternoon at Welland Stadium. Cesar Rosado with a couple of final adjustments on the mound as Jonah Wisner steps up to the plate. And the crowd getting into this one early. Wisner with a .389 average in the playoffs coming into tonight. Rosado with a full windup. And the first pitch of the game sails high and away. It's a 7:39 first pitch here tonight in Barrie. A warm welcome to our Welland viewers who are no doubt watching this broadcast from their living rooms tonight, and other viewers around the IBL as well. A called strike to Wisner makes it a ball and a strike. Gio Morello on deck, Mateo Porcelato to follow. One. High fly ball, deep right field. No chance for Jaco, it's gone. A leadoff solo home run for Jonah Wisner and an early 1-0 Welland lead. Wow.
Wisner really a perfect leadoff hitter, the way he's able to hit for average. But watching him in BP this evening, he really had that power stroke to his swing, and proving it right there in the first at-bat of the game.
He got one right over the juicy part of the plate, got a hold of it, and that one wasn't coming back. First home run of the playoffs for Wisner. He had 6 in the regular season, and it's an early 1-0 Jackfish lead on Cesar Rosado. So here comes Gio Morello. Rosado with a 1.80 ERA in his 2 playoff appearances this season. Against Toronto in the box, waggles the bat. Here's the pitch. It's a called strike.
Well, here's the thing for the Jackfish. This is only the 3rd time in these playoffs they've scored first. So they've still been able to get the job done and get to this point in the playoffs, game 2 of the finals, even though they've only gotten on the board first in 2 previous games.
That pitch is down, 2-1. Tyler Plumpton sets the target, and Rosado winds. Here's the pitch, high and away, 3-1.
Adam Odd playing in on the turf at third base. And the way that this Welland lineup is structured, a lot of speed at the top of the order. Wisner obviously getting the first run of the game with a homer, but you look at Porchelato, Morello, a lot of these guys have a lot of speed.
Morello with that back foot right on the chalk at the back end of the batter's box. Here's Rosado's pitch, and it's a walk. Morello aboard, 1 on, nobody out. Here's Mateo Porchelato.
Talking about that speed in Morello, right, kind of a perfect case. Not a guy you want to give a free pass to early in this game.
Right fielder number 10, Mateo Porchelato.
So here's Porchelato hitting just 161 in the 8 playoff games he's been in, and evidence here that regular season success doesn't necessarily translate to the playoffs. He hit .396 to lead the Jackfish in the 2025 regular season, struggling though here in the playoffs so far. 31 at bats, just 5 hits so far. Here's the pitch for Rosado, and it's high. Rosado really missing up in that strike zone.
Started the year off, Rosado did with, release point much lower than last year, but since kind of brought it back, been a little bit more over the top.
Set the franchise mark for strikeouts a year ago. That mark was eclipsed by his teammate this year. Pitch is high. Here's the throw from Plumpton, the tag. Not nearly in time. That's a stolen base for Gio Morello. So Rosado setting the franchise mark for K's in 2024. Frank Garces in 2025. Some pretty dominant pitching at the top of the Baycat rotation over the last couple of years.
You could argue that's really what's got them to this point in the playoffs so far. The offense wasn't up to the kind of pitching standard in the first round, but really both of them really kind of meshed together in that semifinal series against Hamilton.
Rosado is set, checks the runner, and he deals. Called strike. 2-1.
Really nice breaking ball there from Rosado, and a good count to try and mix that in. 2-0. You don't want to give Porchelato a chance to have a green light here with a runner in scoring position.
I would expect the Jackfish to be taking lots of pitches and at-bats until they get that first called strike, with Rosado showing some early control concerns here. This one low and inside. It's now 3-1.
Well, you got to imagine, look back at the first pitch of this inning, up and away to Jonah Wisner, and maybe that was kind of a bad omen for him.
First pitch of the game, generally, you just want to get a fastball right over for a strike, get the at-bat, get the game going, and Rosado missed by a pretty significant margin on that first pitch. 3-1 to Porchelato. Morello at second. Nobody out. Here's the pitch. Ball 4. A home run and back-to-back walks, and here's the cleanup man, Robert Mullen. Cesar Rosado went 4 innings in his start against Toronto in round 1. Pitched very well. 6 sensational innings against Hamilton in round 2. Manager Josh Matlow giving him more trust, more innings, extending that leash a little bit for him. Coming off some late season tightness. But some early struggles here might be a sign of concern in this all-important second game of the IBL Finals.
But again, it's that pitch count, right? And we're seeing it right now. Getting into really high counts, obviously 2 walks and a home run. It's the efficiency that Josh Matlow needs from him that we saw in Game 1 against Hamilton.
First pitch is inside to Robert Mullen. So 2 on, nobody out, 1-0 Jackfish, top of the first inning.
Because in that 6-inning outing, only had 100 pitches and he had 13 strikeouts.
Pitched very well. One-0 pitch, called strike, and it's 1-1.
Mullen showed bunt there very briefly and then pulled it back, and I don't think any of the Baycats infielders were really expecting it.
Rosado looking visibly relieved after getting that called strike to even the count here. Don't want to make a mistake to this man at the plate, Robert Mullen. You know what he can do. Here's the pitch, runners go, and it's on the ground. Rosado knocks it down with his glove. He has no play. Everybody's safe. The bases are loaded.
Well, the hit and run was on there for the Jackfish. You kind of see as Rosado was about to come set, Gio Morello took a couple extra strides at second base, and Rosado, I don't think he thought anything of it. But obviously both runners were off on the pitch, and Mullen did exactly what he needed to do, got contact, and put it in a really tough spot for Rosado to make a play.
Will be charged with a fielding error on that. And the bases are loaded for Jake Sanford. Situation like that, really no point in Rosado letting the ball get by him. Nobody else was going to make that play but him, but just unable to field it cleanly. Coach Andrew White out for a chat just to settle Rosado down a little bit here. And
I think it's a good time to give you the defense here for Barrie Baycats. In the outfield from left to right, Tristan Clark, Noel McGarry Doyle, Hayden Jaco. On the infield, it's Adamant at third, Brandon Hernandez at short, Francisco Hernandez at second, Nola Macabroda at first, and Tyler Plumpton behind the dish catching Cesar Rosado. Same lineup aside from the pitchers that we saw in Game 1.
bases loaded, nobody out. 1-0 Jackfish already. First pitch to Sanford, swings and misses, and Rosado ahead in the count, I believe, for the first time in this inning.
I think that breaking ball caught Sanford off guard. I think he was expecting more of a fastball. You can kind of see how abbreviated that swing was from him.
Sanford 355 in 14 regular season games. Just 214 in the postseason so far. 1 ball and 1 strike to him here.
Didn't have a hit until late in that series against the Royals, but a big home run in Game 1 in Welland.
Crowd quiet here at Athletic Kulture Stadium. In shock with the Jackfish up 1-0 already and the bases loaded, nobody out.
And Ramon Henrique is already throwing in the Baycats bullpen.
Here's the 1-1 pitch. A high fly ball straight away center field. It's the shortstop backpedaling into the outfield making the catch. Hernandez takes it for the first out of the inning.
Well, not a great sign for Rosado. It takes 5 batters to get the first out of the inning, but that's a big one there, getting a power hitter like Jake Sanford off the bases and putting a double play in order here with the bases loaded.
Baycats manager Josh Matlow has been a real fan of the Rosado-Enriquez 1-2 combo, especially in Rosado's last couple of starts. Enriquez has been sensational coming on in relief of Cesar. It's worked well through their 2 playoff appearances in the previous 2 rounds. There's the first pitch strike to Grayson Barrett. So Rosado may be finding something here in this first inning. Able to get those first pitch strikes on the last 2 consecutive batters.
Well, it was a smart placement, too. He started off with an outside breaking ball.
Pitch to Barrett. Gets away from Plumpton, but stays close, and the runners will stay put.
Rosado still keeping him outside even with that fastball. Coming in tonight, Grayson Barrett, the only Jackfish player on this team to homer off of Rosado in a previous appearance.
Huge at bat here as the Jackfish can give themselves a comfortable lead with 1 swing. The Baycats can put out the fire and keep the damage minimal with a ground ball double play. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Rosado to Barrett. 1-1 pitch. Weakly fouled off at home plate off the inside of his right foot. And the count is 1-2.
Yeah, it looked like he just got it off the instep there and close to the end of the bat on that swing.
This inning started with a leadoff home run off the bat of Jonah Weisner. Back-to-back walks followed. Gio Morello, Mateo Porcelato, both on board. And then an error charged to Rosado on a weakly hit ball by Robert Mullen has loaded the bases. Still just 1 out. The Hernandez brothers, Brandon and Francisco, double play depth, ready for anything on the ground here. 1-2 on the way from Cesar Rosado. Kicks and deals. On the ground, foul. Over near the Baycats side, count holds 1-2.
You really start to see the shift here and the sequencing from Rosado's pitches. Started Barrett outside, now he's working his way inside. That one a curveball that tried to get past him, but again, Barrett getting jammed on that swing.
Some applause here for Cesar Rosado from these fans at Athletic Kulture Stadium. Barrett, the tall left-hander, holds that bat high, waits for the pitch. Rosado delivers. High and away. 2-2. Close, but just off the plate, and the count is even.
Brave take there from Grayson Barrie. Took the bat off his shoulder. Looked like he, could have offered at it, but decided to hold off.
Rosado really slowing things down, as he often does with runners aboard. Takes a long look in to catcher Tyler Plumpton.
We see this a lot in early innings, not even necessarily with runners on, but even if there's first and second inning, see a long time between pitches for Rosado.
2-2 on the way to Grayson Barrett. There it comes. Swing and a miss. A strikeout for IMP North, and there are 2 out in the inning.
Really nice applause. A big first strikeout there for Cesar Rosado. If he's able to get out of this jam that he's really gotten himself into, only the one hit, which was the home run. So a lot of these pitcher outcomes you could say, especially with him having the error on the board, but getting past James Smybert here is going to be tough.
Can you imagine how relieved these fans will be if the Baycats can get off the field, allowing just 1 run? After a leadoff homer, 2 walks, and an error, the bases are loaded with 2 outs. Huge at bat here with James Smybert at the plate. First pitch from Rosado. It's low and in.
Smybert, the only change in this Welland lineup from game 1. Originally it was Thomas Green, who started at third base and in that number 7 spot in the order, but Smybert getting the nod here for game 2.
Rosado is ready. A 1-0 count. Here's the pitch. Called strike. 1-1.
Just caught the inside part of the plate with another curveball.
The breaking ball really seems to be working for Cesar if there's one positive out of this top half of the inning. He's getting that over for strikes. Fastball has been a little bit wild in this inning. 1-1 on the way. Fouled off.
He went back to the fastball there, kept it high, and Smybert couldn't catch up, but gets a piece.
I think this would feel like a massive win to get out of this half inning, allowing only 1 run. Bases are loaded. Morello, Porchelato, Mullen, all on base, 2 out. The count 1-2 to James Smybert. Welland up 1-0, looking for more. Rosado with a 1-2 pitch. Missed. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
So the previous one, a slider, goes to the curveball there and just misses outside. We saw Adam Odd, saw him about a pitch ago. He motioned to Tristan Clark. Maybe some kind of defensive positioning, especially with the way Smybert was laid in the previous fastball.
Big pitch coming up here to James Smybert. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Rosado deals. And again, just a little off the plate. The count is full.
Goes with a slider there, and Tyler Plumpton motioning back to his pitcher.
Smybert knows he's going to see something really good to hit here on this 3-2. Nowhere to put him.
Runners will be off on the pitch here.
This at bat looks quite a bit different than it did a couple of pitches ago when it was 1-2. Now Rosado has to throw him a strike. Smybert's ready, so is Rosado. Runners will be in motion. There they go, 3-2 pitch on the ground, down the line, foul ball.
Just skipping foul before the bag at first.
And the drama will continue to build. This is only the top of the first, Julius. 8.5 more of these to go.
This is nearly a 20-minute inning and it's a half inning.
Game 2 of the 2025 IBL Championship Series, Welland and Barrie. Game 1 decided by a run in the bottom of the ninth. 1-0 Welland here. Bases loaded, 2 out. Rosado to Smybert. Outside ball 4. It's 2-0 Welland. Gio Morello is in. Porcelato to third. Mullen to second. Smybert with a walk to prolong the inning. And here's the 8th hitter, Brendan Luther.
Smybert did a really nice job working the count there against Cesar Rosado. Fouled off the pitches that he needed to. Was waiting for something that he could put a barrel on and didn't end up getting it. Was working around some of the breaking pitches that Rosado had, which were very nice and bordered the plate, but a really nice at-bat there from James Smybert, who has a decently sized lead at first base now.
Yeah, well said. Those 2 pitches that he took on the 1-2 and the 2-2 to force the full count. Incredibly close pitches. Rosado unable to get him. It costs him a run. It's now 2-0 Jackfish. This is the longest and quietest top of a first inning we've had here in Barrie in a very long time. Still just a 2-0 game. Brendan Luther swings, hits it on the ground, right side. Hernandez will throw to first in time for the out. Welland sends 8 to the plate. They score 2. Barrie comes to bat in the bottom of the first. You're watching Baycats TV and Rogers TV Barrie.
I'm Chrissy Fans from 400 Chrysler and Barrie Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. This year, we are the community partners of the Barrie Baycats. Community is near and dear to our hearts here at the dealerships and one of our core values, so we can support local and shop local.
Visit Alliance Billiards and Sports in the northeast end of Barrie. A fun, friendly family environment offering pool, darts, karaoke, and live entertainment. Enjoy a large variety of delicious food and drinks on the patio. You'll come as a stranger and leave as a friend.
First inning of play is brought to you by Park Place, Barrie's Grand Slam destination for dining, shopping, and fun. See you after the game.
All right, here's the starting lineup for Josh Matlow and the defending IBL champion Barrie Baycats. Noel McGarry-Doyle, the leadoff hitter in center field. Brandon Hernandez at short, bats second. Brother Francisco hits third at second base. Nolan Macabrota, the cleanup hitter at first base. Tristan Clark, the hot-hitting left fielder, bats fifth. Adam Ott at third base, bats sixth. Hayden Jaco back in right field tonight. He's in the number 7 spot. Tyler Plumpton, the veteran catcher behind the plate. Noah Hull, the designated hitter, bats ninth.
On the mound for the Welland Jackfish, former major leaguer Jose Dominguez had a really nice start in Game 4 against the Guelph Royals in the semifinals. Only allowed a couple hits, but he ended up getting tagged with the loss, a couple runs in that 6th inning where it's the decider, but didn't allow a hit in that inning. A 1.12 ERA so far in the playoffs, a 0-1 record in 8 innings, 9 strikeouts to 7 walks.
And Noel McGarry-Doyle will try to get things going here for the Barrie Baycats, trailing 2-0 in the bottom of the first inning. McGarry-Doyle had an outstanding regular season, and he took that hot bat right into the playoffs, hitting .432 through 9 games.
Could you imagine where this Baycats team would be without him? He's hitting .432.
Swing and a miss. 0-2. Start of the season, we wondered if he would return to Barrie, and could he see Joe, another Baycat from last year, and played in the outfield and did not return. This outfield would have looked a lot different without Noel McGarry-Doyle, that's for sure.
Absolutely. You know, this Baycats team and manager Josh Matlow, they consider themselves lucky to have him for his first playoff run with the team.
1-2. Low and inside. What a difference between Dominguez and Rosado in terms of pace of pitching here on the mound. Dominguez working very quickly.
You got to imagine there's a lot of angst with how long that top of the first took for Dominguez.
5 pitches into this at-bat already. Foul off by McGarry-Doyle at home plate will keep the at-bat going.
Dominguez, only 3 pitches in his arsenal, but really a 2-pitch pitcher. Fastball, slider for the most part, has an occasional changeup, but that fastball has got really high velocity. When he was in the major leagues, he could touch 100, but not a lot of movement to it. Very flat out of his hand.
Ground ball to short. Picked up by Luther. The throw is high, but it's in time. 1 away in the inning.
That was a really nice play from Brendan Luther. Needed every half second to make that play and get the out on speedy Noel McGarry-Doyle. Let's give the defense here for the Welland Jackfish. In the outfield from left to right, Brandon Hupe, Gio Morello, and Mateo Porcelato. On the infield, James Smybert gets the start at third, Brendan Luther there at short, Jonah Weisner at second, Grayson Barrett at first, and Robert Mullen behind the plate.
Brandon Hernandez, the shortstop, takes one in the inside corner for a called strike. Second-year Baycat, joined by brother Francisco here in 2025. 0-1 pitch on the ground, right side. Easy play for Weisner. 2 quick outs here for Jose Dominguez.
Yeah, a lot of contrast here between the first 2 half innings of play here in Game 2. Balls in play early from the Baycats. But you mentioned it right away. Dominguez working, much quicker than Cesar Rosado, his counterpart.
Rosado throwing 34 pitches in that top of the first inning. Definitely don't want that pace to continue through this ball game, or it'll be a short night for him. Nolan Macabrota on deck. Here's the pitch. Inside, 2-0 to Francisco Hernandez. 35-year-old Dominguez from San Pedro, Dominican Republic. The right-hander gets the sign, rocks into the windup. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Called strike. 2-1.
You can really see how Dominguez's delivery gives them all that power and that fastball velocity. You mentioned he really rocks into that windup.
2-1. Gets the outside corner on an off-speed pitch. 2-2.
So I'd be curious to see if there's runners on eventually in this game, how he pitches out of the stretch and what the differences are.
2-2 pitch. Called strike 3. 3 up, 3 down, go to the Baycats at the bottom of the first. 2-0 Welland on Rogers TV Barrie and Baycats TV YouTube.
Thinking about doing a renovation but don't know where to find the best prices and quality? Go to Reno Liquidation Depot, where you'll find vanities, flooring, toilets, exterior doors, and so much more. Visit Reno Liquidation Depot today.
Step up to the plate at Park Place. The latest fashion, delicious dining, exciting entertainment. Hungry after the game? Stop by one of their patios or grab a sweet treat for a grand slam of flavors to satisfy every craving. Park Place, where every visit is a home run. The only North Barrie Market, your go-to for homemade meals, catering service, and the freshest locally sourced meat. Get ready for an unforgettable barbecue experience with Barrie Best Barbecue coming soon. All at North Barrie Market, 580 Bayfield.
This telecast is presented by the authority of the Intercounty Baseball League and the Barrie Baycats Baseball Club, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent. Any rebroadcast, reproduction, or retransmission in any form is strictly prohibited. 2-0 Welland lead as we head to the top of the second inning. Brendan Hupe, the only Jackfish not to bat in the top half of the first inning. Welland able to spot themselves a 2-0 lead. Could have been much worse. They left the bases loaded. Got a ground ball off the bat of Brendan Luther to mercifully bring that top of the first to an end. Let's see what Rosado has in store here for the second inning. First pitch, foul back.
Hupe aggressive right away, and he's been really nice in that number 9 spot for Welland so far in these playoffs. A .318 average, 1 home run, and that was a big home run in that semifinal series against Guelph.
He is a fan favorite at Welland Stadium. Takes a pitch, it's a strike. Rosado ahead 0-2. You
got to wonder if that first inning struggle with 8 batters in the first was more of a wake-up call here for Rosado.
Swung on and missed. A strikeout for IMP North. Second of the game for Cesar Rosado. Top of the order now for Jonah Weisner, who put a hush over this crowd with a solo home run to start the game.
Anytime a team has the first game of a series, whether it's game 1 or 2 in this league in your home park, there's a lot of energy to start this game, but it looks like Jonah Weisner kind of just took that, balled it up, and put it into that powerful swing over the right field fence.
Yeah, really quieted this crowd in a hurry and deflated a lot of that playoff energy, that hype of the IBL Championship Series and the expectation of these fans. All the anticipation going into game 2, and that was taken a notch down in a hurry off the bat of Jonah Weisner. 0-1 from Rosado on the way. Lifted high and foul, and the count 0-2. If you're the Jackfish, you got a pitcher out there that's really struggling through almost 40 pitches in that top of the first inning. You don't want to help him out any.
I think that's why we saw the aggressive approach from Hupe to start the inning.
That one sails high and away. And we've seen a few pitches like that from Rosado already in this game, where he's missing by quite a bit, high and outside. One ball, 2 strikes. Rosado to Weisner. Swing and a miss. Another strikeout for IMP North. 2 down.
That slider really working for Rosado throughout the first couple innings. We saw him spot it really well and use it in some good counts and some smart counts, and getting Weisner with it right there.
He used the curveball an awful lot in the first inning. Seems like he's going to that slider now more in the second, and if he can do that and get those swing and misses, he can turn this game around.
Well, it's the late break on the slider that's really working for him. The curveball, you can see it's not as deceptive as the other breaking pitches he has.
Gio Morello walked, stole a base, and scored. You know, that pitch, it just seems, how many is that now we've seen? 3 or 4? That was the wildest by far.
I think that was going to be a first pitch curveball that slipped out of his hand. You can kind of see the little bit of a lower arm angle there as well.
One 0 pitch. Outside, 2-0. Two 2-0 Welland. We're in the top of the second. Gio Morello digs in. Rosado deals. Gets that one over for a strike, 2-1.
You know, this is a big deal here for Gio Morello. Obviously, you won a championship with this team in 23, but, you know, being from Welland, it just means that much more to him.
2-1 pitch. Outside again. This inning started with back-to-back strikeouts. Control just continues to be a lingering problem here for Rosado. Some of these pitches just getting away from him. 3-1 now. Morello's ready. Rosado with a 3-1 pitch, and it's outside again, ball 4. 2 walks in the game for Morello. Mateo Porcelato will come to the plate.
Well, Brian Estrie really stacked this lineup full of left-handed hitters, and it seems to be paying off so far against Rosado, who's trying to stay away from a lot of these lefties in this lineup. Wasn't really pitching Morello inside, and now he's given him another free pass, and with him on base, you know, a steal is very much a possibility, as we saw in the first.
There's really no way to pitch around anybody in this Welland Jackfish lineup. There are no easy outs. Porcelato and Smybert have struggled a little bit in the playoffs here, but you know that they're capable of delivering in clutch situations. First pitch is low. Porcelato, one of 3 walks served up by Rosado in the top of the first. Runner on first, 2 out. And drawing a throw is Gio Morello.
When Morello was on second base, when Robert Mullen was up back in the first inning, Morello was really testing, you know, how far he could get away with the lead, and didn't draw a throw from Rosado. Rosado was barely looking back at it, but really paying attention to him this time around.
3 for 3 in playoff steals. Does not go. And that pitch misses away, 2-0.
Well, Plumpton put a great throw on him in the first inning, but really, you know, he beat it out for sure. I think now he's being a little bit more cautious with 2 outs.
Porcelato leans back a couple of times. Now settles into his stance, waggles the bat. Pitch from Rosado. High fly ball, right center field. And underneath it and taking it for the out will be Hayden Jaco. So Jackfish will strand a runner in the top of the second. It's still 2-0 Welland through an inning and a half here in Barrie.
Danielle May Real Estate, supporting the Barrie Baycats and ready to help with all of your real estate questions. What is your home worth? Should you sell now or wait? Danielle is dedicated to your success. The next time you think real estate, think Danielle May.
Second inning of play is brought to you by JC Unlimited Contracting. Design, supply, build, renovate. Servicing Simcoe region for over a decade.
So here's a fun fact. 6 Welland Jackfish have reached base in an inning and a half, including the home run by Jonah Weisner to start the game. They have only 1 hit so far, And Cesar Rosado has gone through his last 11 batters without allowing a hit. That home run by Jonah Weisner is the only hit so far of this game. A 2-0 Welland lead, which feels like it could be far, far worse if you're a Barrie fan.
And there's only been 3 balls in play in the first 2 innings from the Welland Jackfish. 3 strikeouts from Cesar Rosado, despite 4 walks, which have really cost him some efficiency.
I think if you're Barrie, you have to be counting your lucky stars to be trailing 2-0 here. Lots of baseball to go. Here's Nolan Macabrota. Takes that one right down Broadway for a strike, 0-2. Macabrota's had some big playoff moments, but still struggling for consistency here in the 2025 postseason. Fouls that one back to the screen.
A lot of that was in that first round series against the Toronto Maple Leafs. Really struggling offensively, and was 0 for 19 until that big walk-off single in Game 5.
0-2 on the way. Pitch is low and in. Macabrota trying to battle back in the count here.
The big thing for Macabrota has been the strikeouts. He's struck out 13 times so far in the postseason to just 2 walks.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. Down goes Macabrota, 1 away. Back-to-back strikeouts here, Francisco Hernandez and Nolan Macabrota. Here comes Tristan Clark.
Tristan Clark.
So 4 in a row retired by Jose Dominguez. Clark, the left fielder, pops it up. It'll be the second baseman, Jonah Weisner, back on the outfield grass. Taking it for the out, 2 down.
Dominguez attacking these Baycats hitters early. I mentioned that fastball. A lot of velocity on it, but not a whole lot of rise or cut to it. It's kind of a flat fastball, and I'm curious to see why these Baycats hitters aren't quite seeing it as well despite the velocity.
Yeah, as you mentioned, the fastball doesn't have a lot of movement on it, but the Baycats are having trouble catching up to it, it seems, early in this ball game. Adam Aude has 3 playoff home runs in his 8 games.
2 in Game 1 of this series, and he went one of them to straightaway center field, which shocked actually some of the Jackfish players.
Watches that one right into the catcher's mitt. 1 ball, 1 strike to Aude.
I was talking to Jake Sanford before the game, and he was saying that a lot of the guys on the team were shocked because they can't even get a ball to dead center field at Welland Stadium.
That one down near the knees, Aude taking all the way. It's a called strike 1 and 2. Jose Dominguez with a 1-2 pitch. Fly ball to center field. It'll drop for a base hit. Barrie gets their first runner of the night. A 2-out single off the bat of Adam Aude.
Aude didn't get all of that pitch, just under the barrel on his bat, but enough for it to fall in front of Gio Morello. And that's going to be a boost of confidence for this Baycats team, finally getting a first hit of the game.
Hayden Jaco in his 4th playoff game here in 2025. Back in right field tonight. First pitch inside. So each team with a hit now, but the Jackfish up 2-0. On the way. Jaco takes that inside. I mentioned that flat fastball, not a lot of movement, but some pretty good velo. I wonder sometimes mentally if these guys at the plate, on any team really, you're facing a guy who has some major league experience, and you wonder if that gets in your head a little bit. Maybe can play mind games, make it a little bit harder for yourself when you're trying to pick up that fastball. And that one's inside. Good take, Jaco, now 3-0.
I think it's more of I make the comparison to Willie Garcia when he was on the Baycats roster earlier this year. a lot of pitchers, tagged him as, okay, this guy played in the majors. They know they have to attack him a different way. I'm not sure if it's the same the other way around with a major league, pitcher.
Called strike with Jaco taking all the way, 3-1.
If I had to take a guess, I don't think that the hitters would approach the at-bat any differently. They, obviously they see what this guy has to offer from previous outings and know what, kind of roughly what to expect.
3-1 on the way, and it's a ground ball to short. Over to second. Luther to Weisner for the out. Baycats strand a runner, and we play 2. 2-0 Welland here at Athletic Kulture Stadium.
The Collingwood Brewery at 10 Sanford Fleming, producing delicious lagers, ales, and seltzers since 2014. The proud home of the Baycats Brew. Check out their retail shop and tap room and select products at the LCBO, beer store, and grocery stores. Cheers, and go Baycats!
What if a thrift store could change lives? Barrie Families Unite is making it happen. Essential needs support for those families in our community who need it most. Charity gives. Dignity empowers.
Ben Davy and Julius Hern at Athletic Kulture Stadium in Springwater Township. Game 2 of the 2025 IBL Championship Series. The pennant-winning Welland Jackfish against the number 2 seed Barrie Baycats. Welland up in the series 1-0, and up in this game 2-0 over the Baycats. Robert Mullen will come to the plate here.
Not sure what that discussion was between Brian Assery, the Jackfish manager, and whole plate umpire Jeff Rose, but get this inning underway.
Mullen in the first got aboard on a weakly hit ball that was well placed between first and the mound. Rosado moving to his right, tried to glove it, couldn't keep it in his glove, was charged with an error. Set up a bases loaded situation for Welland early in this game.
And it was on a hit and run play too. Gio Morello at second, Mateo Porcelato at first. Both of them are off on the pitch and had decently sized leads, and it kind of worked to the Jackfish's benefit, even with the error.
Swing and a miss. Jackfish gave the Baycats more trouble than any other team in the regular season. 4-1 over Barrie in 5 games, and the game they lost was 8-7 Baycats. That was here on June 14th.
And that was a 10-inning walk-off as well.
So that was the lone Barrie win. Having said that, 2 of the 4 Barrie losses were also by 1 run, 4-3 and 3-2. Lower scoring games, Barrie on the wrong side of those, but close scores nonetheless. Just getting a piece to keep the at-bat alive.
When you look back to that one Barrie win over Welland, which was here at this park, and it was a comeback victory because Welland really got to Frank Garces early in that game. But it was a couple clutch home runs later on, a 3-run shot by Ryan Rio, and another one later on to tie the game by Adam Odd.
Swing and a miss by Mullen. No, he got a piece. Fouled that off at home plate. Count is 1-2.
And then after that, it was a Noah Hall walk-off single off of Davy Mendez, who went 2 1/3 in that game.
Here's the crowd behind Cesar Rosado. It'll be a 1-2 coming up. Swing and a miss. Got him on strikes. It's brought to you by IMP North. 1 out in the inning. Well, you wonder how important home field advantage might be in this best-of-7 series. The Baycats still without a win at Welland Stadium in 2025. Game 7, if necessary, would be played there, with the Welland Jackfish clinching the IBL pennant, guaranteeing them home field advantage straight through the playoffs, wire to wire.
Third straight season they've done that as well, and saw how much it played a factor the first time they won a championship in 23.
First pitch is high to Jake Sanford.
I had a really nice chat with Jackfish manager Brian Estrie before the game. He was telling me the Guelph Royals team that the Jackfish played in the semifinals was the best team that they have faced in his time in the IBL. And he considers himself lucky to get out of that series. But he also mentioned how much home field played a factor in being able to win that series in 5 games.
Well, it certainly was, especially when you consider a year ago it was the road team that won every game. So it was a complete inversion of that series a year ago. And the Jackfish have been very good at home here in 2025. And, you know, if you were to name the ballpark that you would least like to play a Game 7 in, I think Welland Stadium would be at the top of the list for a lot of players and a lot of fans.
I think a lot of teams in this league would agree with that.
Just missed on that one.
But Estrie noted, and I agree with him when he said this, that this Jackfish team this year is much better than last year. It's a much deeper roster. They have a much deeper, pitching staff. They have a rotation that's, 4 guys that are basically all aces if you put them on any other team in the league.
Fly ball deep left field. Long way back for Clark. Reaches up, and he makes the catch. What a grab by Tristan Clark in left field, 2 down.
Great ovation from the fans, and Tristan Clark deserved it with that catch. It looked like he got spun around a little bit. That line drive off the bat of Sanford slicing further and further inside. And he had to make a really nice leap in front of the warning track to haul that one in.
The wind is blowing from the south-southeast tonight, which is an unusual abnormality here in Springwater. Usually it's blowing the other direction, but it's from left field to right field tonight and slightly in, but more left to right. It's been a pretty steady breeze throughout the evening. So here's Grayson Barrett. Rosado's pitch misses low, 2-0.
I'm talking about the depth of this Jackfish team. I think the perfect embodiment of how deep this team is the pickup of Pedro De Los Santos mid-season for the Brantford Red Sox. Him coming in really solidifies the back end, and he really proved it in Game 1. 3-inning outing from him. He had 4 strikeouts and ended up getting the win.
That was vintage Pedro De Los Santos right there in Game 1. Mowing through this Baycat order in the middle innings. Frank Garces pitching equally well after giving up an early lead. 5 shutout innings from him. The Jackfish getting 5 runs off of Garces in his 8 innings of work. 3-0 now the count to Grayson Barrett.
Yeah, but again, both these teams had double-digit hits in Game 1. Barrie had 13, Welland had 11, but it was the timeliness of Welland being able to put those together that got them to win, I think.
Yeah, there was some really good pitching in that game, but you're right, a lot of hits on both sides. Both teams had their chances. That one might have hit him. I think it just caught a piece of his arm, but in any event, he is aboard. The count was 3-0. Barrett's aboard. A 2-out base runner for the Jackfish. James Smybert now to the plate.
We were talking earlier about Brian Estrie stacking this lineup full of a lot of left-handed hitters, notably the change with Smybert and Thomas Green between games 1 and 2. 357 opponents hit against Cesar Rosados as lefties. 10 walks to 4 strikeouts.
Some managers really go by that lefty-righty matchup a lot more than others, and clearly that's something that Brian Estrie's well aware of, is Rosado's struggles against left-handed hitters in the regular season.
He starts aggressively here against Smybert with a really nice slider.
Smybert walked to the first. Barrett the lead. And showing bunt is Smybert, and it's off the top of his bat and against the screen. No balls, 2 strikes.
You can tell the pace has already started to improve from Cesar Rosado between the first inning and this one.
Takes a look at the runner, comes set. Rosado, 4 strikeouts tonight. 0-2 pitch, make it 5. A swing and a miss. Strikeout for IMP North, and it gets the Baycats off the field in the third. Still 2-0 Welland at Athletic Kulture Stadium in Springwater.
Hi, I'm Chrissy Fentz from 400 Chrysler and Barrie Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. This year, we are the community partners of the Barrie Baycats. Community is near and dear to our hearts here at the dealerships and one of our core values, so we can support local and shop local.
Visit Alliance Billiards and Sports in the northeast end of Barrie. A fun, friendly family environment offering pool, darts, karaoke, and live entertainment. Enjoy a large variety of delicious food and drinks on the patio. You'll come as a stranger and leave as a friend.
Third inning of play is brought to you by Render 3D Quick, the #1 architectural 3D rendering company in Canada, working with thousands of builders, developers, architects, and more.
2-0 Jackfish with Tyler Plumpton coming to the plate here in the bottom of the third inning. Just 1 hit so far off Welland starter Jose Dominguez, who has pitched very efficiently through his first 2 innings tonight. Tyler Plumpton, Noah Hull, Noel McGarry Doyle due up for Barrie. First pitch strike from Dominguez. And we remind Welland fans that this series moves to Welland Stadium Thursday night, 7:15 at the Pond in Welland for Game 3. And then Baycat fans will get at least one more here at home. That'll be Game 4 on Saturday afternoon at 4:05. Julius and I will have that for you here from the ballpark. Hopefully we'll get a good crowd here in Springwater Township for that Saturday afternoon game. Plumpton with a weak swing there. Count 1-2.
Yeah, this matchup really favors Jose Dominguez. Tyler Plumpton doesn't swing very hard, but he's really able to get the barrel on the ball when he has to. That's why he's been able to limit the strikeouts throughout his career.
1-2 pitch. Fly ball, right field. And moving to his left is Porchelato. And there's 1 out in the inning. Well, I don't know about you, but I absolutely love daytime playoff baseball. And we had a beautiful day on Sunday afternoon at the Pond in Welland. Kind of rained off and on throughout the morning. We weren't sure what the weather was going to be like, but it was a beautiful afternoon for the opening game of this series. And we've got 2 more day games planned, one for sure. Game 4 here in Barrie on Saturday, and then it's back to Welland for another Sunday afternoon at 4:05, if necessary. Kids, of course, back in school now, so these weeknight games get a little bit tricky for the youngsters.
I think from a Baycats perspective, that's why it's so important to have that, that Saturday home slot like we had in the regular season.
Ground ball to first. The relay to Dominguez in time for the out. 2 down in the inning. Here's Noel McGarry Doyle.
Center fielder number 95, no.
Yeah, I wasn't sure whether to bring sunblock or an umbrella on that Sunday afternoon at Welland. a little bit of everything, but just wear a t-shirt and a hoodie over top of it. You can take the hoodie off if it gets warm.
Exactly. That's what I did too.
You get that mixed bag of weather here in September. It could go either way. 2 out in the inning. McGarry Doyle swings and misses.
Even with that first swing there, you can tell McGarry Doyle is on the fastball, his second plate appearance now. It looked like he might start him with a changeup.
0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. 2 cuts by McGarry Doyle. Couldn't connect on either of them. Still just 1 hit for the Baycats. We're in the 3rd. Dominguez delivers inside. Saw that quick pitch there. The abbreviated delivery. A la Frank Garces, who does that from the left-handed side quite effectively. McGarry Doyle hit .373 in the regular season. Here's the 1-2, and he works the count even. High fly ball, right field. It's pretty deep. It's out of here. A solo home run for Noel McGarry Doyle. Gets Barrie on the board. It's 2-1 Welland.
Mentioned it around that first pitch. McGarry Doyle was on the fastball early in the count. Got another one to hit later on with 2 strikes and didn't make a mistake there. 2 home runs in the series now for him.
Boy, McGarry Doyle was fired up as he crossed home plate and made his way to the Baycats dugout, and his whole team was out there in front of the top step. Lots of fist pumps and elbow smashes, and let's see if that fires up this Baycat lineup a little bit. 2 out in the inning. They finally get on the board. There's a flail and a miss by Brandon Hernandez. 0-2 now.
Well, I think even with the score, 2-0, hits are kind of hard to come by already in the first 3 innings. That was a big one.
Dominguez puts one in the dirt. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Well, Dominguez is doing such a great job getting ahead in the count here tonight. No walks so far. He's had 1 and 2 here on Brandon Hernandez. Here's the pitch. Fly ball, foul over near the Welland bullpen. Count holds at 1 and 2.
Hernandez a bit later on that fastball there as opposed to the first couple pitches of the at-bat, but most of his power comes going the opposite way. Watched him in batting practice doing a really nice job going the opposite field.
Another foul ball.
Hernandez actually took me through his whole routine today. First round, he goes to the opposite field. Second round is very situational.
You talking about his BP
His
routine?
BP.
Okay, interesting. 1-2 pitch, called strike 3. Hernandez gets rung up on strikes, but a solo home run by Noel McGarry Doyle gets Barrie on the board. 2-1 Welland through 3 here at Athletic Kulture Stadium.
The only North Barrie Market, your go-to for homemade meals, catering service, and the freshest locally sourced meat. Get ready for an unforgettable barbecue experience with Barrie Best Barbecue coming soon. All at North Barrie Market, 580 Bayfield.
Thinking about doing a renovation but don't know where to find the best prices and quality? Go to Reno Liquidation Depot, where you'll find vanities, flooring, toilets, exterior doors, and so much more. Visit Reno Liquidation Depot today.
Step up to the plate at Park Place. The latest fashion, delicious dining, exciting entertainment. Hungry after the game? Stop by one of their patios or grab a sweet treat for a grand slam of flavors to satisfy every craving. Park Place, where every visit is a home run.
Welcome back to Athletic Kulture Stadium, home of the Barrie Baycats, home of the IBL Championship Series again this year, and the Welland Jackfish, the 2023 champs, taking on the 2024 champs here in 2025. Welland will send Brendan Luther to the plate here in the top of the fourth inning to face Cesar Rosado. Luther, Hoope, and Weisner all due up for the Jackfish here in the fourth. Up 2-1. Couple home runs on each side so far. Weisner in the top of the first for the Jackfish. McGarry Doyle in the bottom of the third for Barrie. First pitch strike from Cesar Rosado.
You know, to think that Welland's still in the lead here after only one hit, and that was the first batter of the game.
Yeah, pretty amazing. They appealed to third. He did not go. So, you know, you would look at this start for Rosado and you would say this has certainly not been his best start, his best 3 innings of work. But he has gone 15 straight batters without allowing a hit. The only hit was that solo home run in the top of the first inning. This one, fair territory, and there we go. There's the second hit probably. Luther aboard to lead off the fourth. Well, that breaks that streak.
Yeah, there's perfect timing from you.
Not that it was worth anything.
I think if Rosado decided to kind of back off like Adam Ott did, it might have rolled foul further up the line, but he was very aggressive trying to make a play on it when he might not have had to. It's the second batted ball that in play that he's been the primary fielder on, and both times he hasn't been able to get the out at first.
Here's one of the most dangerous number 9 hitters you'll find in any lineup, Brandon Hoope. With a runner on and nobody out. Luther the lead at first. Rosado from the stretch. First pitch, low and away.
Well, after the second inning strikeout, Brandon Hoope in 5 games against Rosado 0 for 10 with now 7 Ks.
Luther 2 for 2 in postseason stolen base attempts. Let's see if they put him in motion here. 1-0 the count. Modest lead at first. Does not go. Pitch misses outside. You know, if you were to tell me that Cesar Rosado would go 15 straight batters without allowing a hit in the first 3 innings of this game, I would say we're in pretty good shape tonight. Instead, we're trailing 2-1. Plumpton sets the target. And Rosado deals. Fouled over the screen, 2-1.
Hoope caught on to the fastball there. He started off with a couple breaking pitches. One of them was a curveball away, or a slider away, pardon me. One of only 2 righties in this lineup for Welland, the other Robert Mullen.
Rosado has 5 strikeouts and 5 walks, and we're in the fourth. If this feels like a slow start to this game, it's because it has been. 2-1 pitch. On the ground to short. Hernandez to Macabrona for the double play. 6-4-3, and there are 2 out in the fourth.
Couldn't have drawn it up any better if you're a Baycats fan. A perfect result there for Cesar Rosado, the ground ball to short. And perfect chance for a double play, and the Baycats defense makes it happen.
The sure-handed Hernandez brothers deliver. And in a championship series, those plays that you should make, you have to make, and that's exactly what they did there, executing beautifully. Nice quick relay from Francisco at second. And this one, gloved by Hernandez, gets up, throws, in time for the out. Some great defense by the Baycats here in the fourth inning. Trailing by a run as we head to the bottom of the fourth. You're watching Baycats TV and Rogers TV Barrie. Danielle May Real Estate, supporting the Barrie Baycats and ready to help with all of your real estate questions. What is your home worth? Should you sell now or wait? Danielle is dedicated to your success. The next time you think real estate, think Danielle May.
Fourth inning of play is brought to you by Vintage Throne Barber Lounge, redefining gentlemen one community at a time.
So the Baycats trailing 2-1 in this ball game, but they've had a couple of really big moments. One of them, the solo home run by Noel McGarry-Doyle, which really seemed to fire up the dugout. Also, the defense in the top of the fourth inning, a 6-4-3 double play off the bat of Brendan Hupe, and then a spectacular diving play by Francisco Hernandez at second base to get up and then make a great throw to retire Jonah Weisner. And this one's through into right field for a base hit. So after an incredible defensive play, Hernandez comes to the plate and delivers Barrie's third hit of the night.
All in the span of just a few minutes, and you could argue that that was very close to where he made that diving play, to where he hit that ball. Going the other way with it, that's a great start for the Baycats here in the fourth.
Same spot defensively, and then puts one in play at the plate. And now here's Nolan Macabrota. This man can flip this score with one swing of the bat, that we know. It's been a slow go for him here in the 2025 postseason. He's had some big moments. Just looking to deliver some consistency, and the Baycats need him here. Here's the pitch from Dominguez. Home run swing, he fouled it off.
Yeah, just on the inside of the bat there, jammed a little bit. I think the first time through the order for Barrie was more of a let's settle in, let's see what Dominguez has here, and then kind of go from there the second time through the order. We saw that with Noel McGarry-Doyle. He pounces on that fastball to hit the home run. Francisco Hernandez leads off this inning with a base hit, and now it's up to Nolan Macabrota to kind of follow that up.
0-1 pitch. And it goes to the backstop. Up to second goes Francisco Hernandez. Right through Mullen.
It's going to go down as a wild pitch, and we saw that in Game 4 against the Guelph Royals. Dominguez was cruising, and then that sixth inning comes around. Wild pitches get some runners over, and one ends up scoring on a wild pitch, which ended up being the go-ahead run and eventually the game-winning run. A very close 2-1 game for Guelph to tie that series up. And they only had 2 hits, both by Kiner Pena.
Still nobody out. Francisco Hernandez at second. Pitch from Dominguez. This is low and in. If you look at Nolan Macabrota and you think, boy, those pant legs look low, he actually tucks the back of them underneath his heel. I've seen them up close. The cleats actually go through the fabric on the bottom of those pant legs.
It's kind of like an anchor a little bit.
Can't say that I've seen many players do that, if any. I mean, a lot of guys like those low pant legs, but the cleats going right through them, literally.
I think Frank Garces does a similar thing on the mound, but I don't think the cleat goes through the pant leg. I remember at Christie Pitts, the Bushmen were actually chirping him for you can't tuck your shoes into your socks.
2-2 pitch, hide away, count is full.
I think that release got away from Dominguez a little bit. Bit of an early release, and lucky that Mullen was able to get over to the other batter's box to haul it in.
So if you're watching Sunday's game, you saw the two extremes. You saw Macabrota with the pant leg under the cleat, and then you saw Carlos Sano with the shorts hiked high, more than midway above the thigh, the midway point between the knee and the upper thigh. This one through the middle, glove by the shortstop, throw to first in time for the out. That ball hit right up the middle, but ranging to his left was shortstop Brendan Luther. So Francisco Hernandez goes to third base. That could be an important 90 feet. Still just one out in the inning.
Well, especially with Tristan Clark coming up. I think for Welland, that batted ball, they came away very lucky on that play because it looked like it went right through the legs of Jose Dominguez. And because of that, it was really hard for Brendan Luther to pick that up, ranging over to his left, but he does a great job and makes the play.
First pitch to Clark is inside. I got to meet Tristan Clark's wife, Skylar, on Sunday afternoon watching the game in Welland, and what an amazing young lady she is. Mother of four. Tristan Clark has 4 boys. They all love baseball. And Skylar is telling me that she didn't really play sports or have much interest in baseball at all until she met Tristan, and now it's a baseball family, and there's no going back. So,
a major sacrifice for that family for Tristan to come up here for this season.
Swing and a miss. It's a familiar tale. Be careful who you marry because it's going to become a big part of your life, whatever they do. And the Clark family just lives, sleeps, and breathes baseball. In fact, one of her sons was playing in a game while we were watching Tristan on Sunday afternoon. So she had her phone out and she was trying to keep track of both at the same time. 1-2 on the ground down the line. And a nice play by the third baseman. Throw over in time, but the run comes in to score. Barrie ties the game at 2. Really nice play by James Smybert at third. 2 out in the inning.
Well, right there, Smybert at third had to really straddle the bag almost, but he bobbled the ball. If he didn't bobble the ball, I think he would have maybe decided to go home because he was looking at Hernandez go down that third base line, and that's when the bobble happened. And because of that, he had no other choice but to go to first. Get the easy out.
That's a great observation, and it had to cross his mind. This one to second. And the throw from Wisner's in time. But Barrie ties the game. It's 2-2. We have played 4 innings. Julius up to call the 5th and 6th when we return here on Baycats TV.
The Collingwood Brewery at 10 Sanford Fleming, producing delicious lagers, ales, and seltzers since 2014. The proud home of the Baycats Brew. Check out their retail shop and tap room, and select products at the LCBO, beer store, and grocery stores. Cheers, and go Baycats!
What if a thrift store could change lives? Barrie Families Unite is making it happen. Essential needs support for those families in our community who need it most. Charity gives. Dignity empowers.
Step up to the plate at Park Place. The latest fashion, delicious dining, exciting entertainment. Hungry after the game? Stop by one of their patios or grab a sweet treat for a grand slam of flavors to satisfy every craving. Park Place, where every visit is a home run.
Julius Hern, Ben Davy along with you. Top of the 5th inning in Game 2 of the IBL Finals. It's now a tie ball game, 2-2 after an RBI ground out from Tristan Clark in the 4th. And Gio Morello will lead off here for Welland against Cesar Rosado.
Yeah, this looked like it could have been a really long night for Cesar Rosado, or a short night for Rosado and a long night for Baycats fans in that top of the 1st inning when Welland sent 8 batters to the plate. Took Rosado 34 pitches to get through that top of the 1st, but was able to escape allowing just 2 runs on 1 hit. And depending on how the outcome of this game, you might look back to that top of the 1st inning, and if Welland comes up short, you're looking for missed opportunities. There were certainly some in that 1st inning.
First pitch to Morello is high, and those 2 hits, vast opposites of each other. A leadoff home run by Jonah Weisner in the 1st, and then a bunt single by Brendan Luther to lead off the 4th. And aside from that, 4 walks and a hit batter. 1-0 catches the plate.
The game started with a home run and back-to-back walks. And certainly if you're Brian Essery, you're happy with the early 2-0 lead. But with the bases loaded, there's that potential there for a 4 or 5 run inning for sure.
This man at the plate, Gio Morello, has walked twice.
We're sitting here now in a 2-2 tie in the 5th inning, so this game looks a lot differently than it might have.
1-1. Curveball just misses outside. You see Adam Odd positioned on the turf on the infield, and with Morello's speed, a bunt wouldn't be out of the ordinary.
The patience of Morello, 2 walks already tonight, and he's got a great eye. Can lay off those ones that are just off the plate like that last pitch you just saw.
He swings through that one, a really nice slider. Makes that swing from Morello look foolish. It's 2-2.
As soon as I say that, a bad swing on an inside pitch, but Morello not known for that.
You mentioned the pitch counts between the 1st and the following 3 innings. You saw Ramon Henriquez throwing on the bullpen in the 1st inning and still hasn't gotten back up. Rosado being able to dial it in the previous 3 innings and hold the Jackfish down. 2-2 to Morello. Curveball, got him! Morello goes down looking. It's brought to you by IMP North.
Yeah, if you had have asked me 3 or 4 batters into this ball game, will Cesar Rosado get to 75 pitches tonight? I would have said probably not. And he's surpassed that now here in the 5th. So he's turned this game around quite nicely.
6 strikeouts for him now. It'll bring up Mateo Porchelato, the right fielder. First pitch, slider inside. Porchelato, that second of those back-to-back walks in the 1st, and then flew out to end the 2nd. That one catches the plate. Porchelato, 25 years old, from Pitt Meadows, BC. A lot of British Columbians on this Jackfish team. 1-1, further outside.
It's amazing how many Western Canadians and Prairie boys find their way to the IBL here in Southern Ontario. Lots of baseball talent out west, and the IBL has done a really great job tapping into that.
It's crazy how so much Canadian baseball talent, even what you see in the major leagues, is out of BC. 2-1. Goes up the middle. It's a one-hopper to Francisco Hernandez. His throw on to first is in time. 2 down.
Well, I've never been to the West Coast, but the Canadian West Coast at least. But there's a lot of Blue Jays fans out there, and I know baseball is bigger than you might expect in Western Canada. These kids grow up and watch the Blue Jays, and I'm sure a lot of BCers make the trip down to Seattle to watch the Jays when they play there, and these kids grow up loving the game.
Robert Mullen fouls off the first pitch. A lot of these players, not even just on these 2 teams, but across the IBL, very familiar with the Western Canadian Baseball League, a college league, where a lot of these players played before coming to the Intercounty. That one inside, it's 1-1.
Starting to see more hoodies and sweaters here coming out now. Our temperatures dropped to 17. We're at about 20 degrees for our game time temperature, but it's turning into a chilly night. September baseball.
Slider gets a whiff from Mullen. It's 1-2. We're talking about the WCBL, and be remiss to not mention that Jonah Weisner was the MVP of that league 2 years ago before coming over to the Welland Jackfish. 1-2, just outside. Nice take there from Robert Mullen.
Yeah, if you're Rosado, you might want to go back to that same spot again and see if you can get Mullen to chase.
So he's worked the count to 2-2, and 2 out now. Rosado looking for strikeout number 7. He's got the crowd support behind him. Here's the 2-2. Breaking ball flown out to left field. Drifting back in front of the track is Tristan Clark, who makes the catch. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Cesar Rosado, and that's got to feel good for the Baycats righty. We go to the bottom of the 5th, still tied at 2. You're on Baycats TV.
Friends from 400 Chrysler and Barrie Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. This year, we are the community partners of the Barrie Baycats. Community is near and dear to our hearts here at the dealerships and one of our core values, so we can support local and shop local.
Visit Alliance Billiards and Sports in the northeast end of Barrie. A fun, friendly family environment offering pool, darts, karaoke, and live entertainment. Enjoy a large variety of delicious food and drinks on the patio. You'll come as a stranger and leave as a friend.
We're in the bottom of the 5th inning at Athletic Kulture Stadium. It's for One-Eyed Jack Barrie. Bring your same-day Baycats tickets before or after a game and get 10% off your bill.
2 runs on 2 hits for the Jackfish, 2 runs on 3 hits for the Barrie Baycats, and considering a lot of hits in game 1, 13 for Barrie and 11 for Welland, the pitching has really calmed the bats down. Jose Dominguez doing a great job, only at 57 pitches through 4 innings. He faces Hayden Jaco, leads off, and no swing on the bunt attempt from Jaco on the first pitch.
Well, we love having these games on YouTube because people literally watch these broadcasts and the IBL broadcasts all over the world and certainly across the country. You were talking about BC in the top half of the inning.
1-0 from Dominguez, that's a called strike.
And during the commercial break, I get a text message from a friend who's in BC watching our game, and he's hearing you talk about BC. He's in Abbotsford. His name is Ethan, and he's at school right now, Summit Pacific Bible College, from Barrie.
Swing and a miss from Jaco.
So a big Baycats fan, keeping tabs on how the team's doing during the playoffs. I saw him at a couple of games here in the summer, and he's taking Baycat fever out west with him, so that's really cool. Thanks for watching tonight, Ethan. He's a pretty good ball player himself. He played on my church slow pitch team.
Well, BC native Hayden Jaco, he grounds that to third. A throw from Smybert's in time to retire. the Baycats right fielder.
We just can't escape the BC references here, can we? It's crazy.
Catcher number 44, Tyler Plumpton.
So one out here for Tyler Plumpton.
Of course, it's just a little after 6 o'clock out there, so they're enjoying dinner as they watch our games.
First pitch to Plumpton, it's inside. There's 7 Jackfish on the playoff roster from BC. So they've really tapped into that Western Canadian talent really well, and I think that's why they've been able to have this sustained success in the league. 1-1, Plumpton drives that one to left field, going back and making the catch is Brandon Hupe.
Sounded good off the bat, but that ball just died.
Designated hitter number 28, Noah Hull.
2 quick outs here for Dominguez. And Noah Hull now, who's due for a big hit.
Brian Essery and I were chatting pregame, and he told me he was really impressed with the way Noah Hull was hitting this year. And, you know, he was hitting very well for average in his rookie year in 24, but really brought the power into play this year. 5 home runs in the regular season. 257 average so far in the playoffs. Dominguez pitch, swing and a miss from Hull. It's 0-2.
Well, what I love about Hull, among many things, but certainly his intensity, really has caught my eye this season. This guy has one gear and it's full throttle. He puts 100% into everything.
Well, he swings and misses at that pitch, and it's an inning-ending strikeout from Jose Dominguez. 1-2-3 go the Baycats in the 5th. We go to the 6th. Still tied at 2 in Game 2 of the IBL Finals on Baycats TV.
The only North Barrie Market, your go-to for homemade meals, catering service, and the freshest locally sourced meat. Get ready for an unforgettable barbecue experience with Barrie Best Barbecue coming soon. All at North Barrie Market, 580 Bayfield.
Thinking about doing a renovation but don't know where to find the best prices and quality? Go to Reno Liquidation Depot, where you'll find vanities, flooring, toilets, exterior doors, and so much more. Visit Reno Liquidation Depot today.
Step up to the plate at Park Place. The latest fashion, delicious dining, exciting entertainment. Hungry after the game? Stop by one of their patios or grab a sweet treat for a grand slam of flavors to satisfy every craving. Park Place, where every visit is a home run.
Along with Ben Davy, I'm Julius Hern. 2-2 the score between the Jackfish and the Baycats in Game 2 of the IBL Finals. Jake Sanford to lead it off for the Jackfish against Cesar Rosado, who, as we mentioned, has really brought the efficiency into play after that first inning, which I think he was lucky to only leave with 2 runs on the board for Welland.
No question about it. This game could have looked a lot different. I think a lot of fans feared it might. Instead, it's a 2-2 tie.
Long-awaited first pitch here for Jake Sanford, and it's a curveball in for a strike.
Did you notice I wore a pink shirt tonight, Julius?
I did.
That is my nod to the Rose City.
I went with black. I went with my best stuff for.
Yeah, that's your A game right there.
For the
Gray
first
and black.
game.
Well, the Jackfish wore those beautiful Rose City jerseys for Game 1, the home white jersey with the Rose City on the front, and Absolutely love that. Not unlike the Washington Nationals cherry blossom sort of look, although Welland put their own personalized touch on it, and that's a great alternate jersey. Love it. One of the best in the league.
I like it. I think they've used these green ones kind of in both home and on the road.
So I went with the pick tonight for the Rose City and the Baycats blue blazer. So we like to provide balance on the broadcast here and be as down the middle as we can.
Rosado's 2-1, lined into left field. That's a base hit for Jake Sanford. A nice start here for the Jackfish in the 6th.
And that's 2 innings in a row now 2 of the last 3 innings that the Jackfish have started the inning off with a base hit. Rosado got a 3-up, 3-down 5th. That 4th inning started with a single off the bat of Brendan Luther, and Brandon Hoope hit into a double play to eliminate that threat.
Well, here's Grayson Barrett, 0 for 2. The strikeout was hit by a pitch in the 3rd. And one that looked like it just barely got him on the elbow guard. First pitch from Rosado. That one's over the head of Brandon Hernandez into left center field. So back-to-back pitches go for base hits for Welland.
Hernandez timed the jump perfectly, but he wasn't back far enough to have a chance to come down with that. So a good effort, but no chance to make the catch. And 2 hits here for Welland, a chance for them to get back on top. This is one of the more dangerous 7, 8, 9s you'll find in any lineup. Smybert, Luther, and Hoope.
Smybert, who played in the Frontier League earlier this year and came over to Welland, knew he was going to get more opportunity with the Jackfish than he was in the Pro League. Had the only other RBI aside from that leadoff homer by Weisner, and that came on a first inning walk. Corner's in for Barrie. Smybert shows bunt, and it's call the ball.
Yeah, I knew your eye would catch that. Macabroda and Odd at first and third. Just coming in a couple steps on the grass. The Jackfish have been showing bunt a lot tonight. And we've been seeing a lot of that from all teams around the IBL here in the 2025 postseason. A lot of small ball and bunting to advance runners.
Well, Smybert, a smart situational hitter. He gets the bunt down, charging is Adam Odd. He's got one play at first, and it's in time to get Smybert by the runner's advance.
And if you're Adam Odd, you have to have that in your head. Everybody in the park knew that bunt was going to be laid down, and Rosado left it for Odd. He knew he had one play at first. You don't want to fudge that and try to do something a little bit unexpected. They get the sure out. Now 2 in scoring position for the Jackfish, but at least Rosado's got an out behind him now.
So it brings up Brendan Luther, who you could put in that category of possible picks to win IBL Rookie of the Year, the way he played this year offensively, playing a really nice shortstop as well for this Jackfish team, but infield in against him. 1 out in the inning. Rosado kicks and deals the first pitch as a slider inside.
Well, you mentioned possible Rookie of the Year. You'd get no argument from me on that. And if you want to pitch him carefully here, you can. First base open, but, Brandon Hoope is not an easy out by any stretch either.
Luther told me pregame it took him about a month to really settle into the IBL pitching. He told me it's a very different competition level than what he was used to previously. The 1-0 from Rosado, another one inside.
A walk here is not the worst thing in the world. Hoope is a tough out, but he did hit a double play earlier in this game in the 4th inning. 1 out in the inning. It would set up the force all around.
And keep in mind, Hoope an 0 for 11 lifetime against Rosado. Luther, one of 4 hits for this Jackfish team. The 2-0. Broken bat on the ground, charging is Hernandez. The throw home is not in time. Jackfish take the lead on a fielder's choice there from Brendan Luther.
Yeah, there was no chance to get Sanford. I don't know what Hernandez was thinking. It was a high throw as well, but situation like that, Plumpton would have had to make the catch, come down with the tag, and it just wasn't going to happen. So an ill-advised throw home. I understand the score's 2-2, but I think a situation like that, you need to yield the run, get that second out of the inning at first base. Now you got runners on the corners with one out, and this could turn into a really big inning for the Jackfish.
So Thomas Green will pinch hit here for Brandon Hupe.
Pinch hitting is Thomas Green.
So manager Brian Essery perhaps aware of some of the statistical information that you had there with Hupe's average against Rosado, favoring this matchup instead, going with the righty-righty.
Barrett at third, runner goes. Luther from first, and no throw from Plumpton.
I can't throw down when you got Barrett at third base, so that could cost you a run. So Plumpton just had to eat that. That's a free 90 feet for Brendan Luther. Defensive indifference.
I don't necessarily think it was the runner on third there with Barrett. Not a great lead at third if he was going to attempt to come home, but I think he knew Luther had that bag easily. I think also with Hupe, the first two results from his at-bats in this game, a strikeout and a double play. So a repeat of any of those off the bat of Hupe wouldn't be ideal for Brian Essery's team. Infield still in, all four Baycats defensively with two in scoring position again. 0-1, 1 out. Thomas Green at the plate. That one's low.
Such an interesting decision here by Brian Essery to bring in the pinch hitter here in the sixth inning. You don't often see pinch hitters, in the middle innings like this, but clearly he has the information and favors this matchup over Rosado. Let's see if he guesses right.
Well, and also beyond this inning, he knows he has the defensive versatility to move James Smybert wherever. I would imagine Green will go to third in the bottom half. 1-1, 1 out. Pitch to Green, he swings and misses on an outside slider.
Jonah Weisner's on deck, and you're back to the top of the order. So this is an out that Cesar Rosado needs to get. Create a two-out situation when you get back to that top of the lineup. A little bit easier to navigate your way through that when you've got a couple of outs behind you.
And once Weisner comes up, that would be the fourth time through the order. Rosado looking for another K. 1-2. Swing and a miss from Green. He struck him out. It's brought to you by IMP North, and a big second out for the Baycats righty.
Well, it would surprise me very much if this is not Cesar Rosado's final inning, so there's no point holding anything back here. And he was dialed in and blew that one by Green for a big strikeout.
Seventh on the game for Rosado, and it's back to the top of the order for Welland. Defense back to the standard depth, can relax a little bit, but still two in scoring position. Rosado kicks and deals. The first pitch is outside. Weisner robbed of a base hit his last time up, and a diving play by Francisco Hernandez. So he's 1 for 3 with that home run and a strikeout. Rosado comes set. The 1-0 delivery. Popped up, playable for Adamon, and he makes the catch, sliding towards that left side fence to end the inning. Baycats defense does it again, holds the Jackfish down, but Welland takes the lead here in Game 2. 3-2 for the Jackfish going to the bottom of the sixth on Baycats TV.
Danielle May Real Estate, supporting the Barrie Baycats and ready to help with all of your real estate questions. What is your home worth? Should you sell now or wait? Danielle is dedicated to your success. The next time you think real estate, think Danielle May.
Bottom of the sixth inning, Athletic Kulture Stadium is brought to you by Moving.ca. Two small men with big hearts moving. Your original Canadian two-men movers. When you think two men, think with big hearts, your Canadian choice. Couple defensive changes to note after Thomas Green pinch hit for Brandon Hupe in the top half of this inning. Green comes in playing third base. James Smybert moves over to first, and Grayson Barrett moves from first to left field. It'll be the top of the order for the Barrie Baycats. Noel McGarry-Doyle to lead off this sixth. He fouls off the first pitch from Jose Dominguez. Dominguez has been really efficient so far in this outing. 57 pitches coming into this inning, or coming into the last inning, pardon me, is another foul off by McGarry-Doyle. Couple bodies in that Welland bullpen, but no one throwing as of yet. The 0-2 on the ground, second base side. Weisner has to backhand, bobble. The throw is not in time. That's going to be an infield single for Noel McGarry-Doyle to start this sixth.
Shortstop number 11, Brandon Hernandez.
After the infield single, it'll bring up Brandon Hernandez. Green in on the turf at third base. Runner goes on the ground. Dominguez has to make the play. It tosses over to Smybert at first for the first out of the inning. A hit and run clearly on there for the Baycats to start off the at-bat.
Now we have seen that so much this season, runner in motion and the green light to the man at the plate, and that's exactly what Josh Matlow had drawn up there with a speedy Noel McGarry-Doyle. Getting out an infield hit and then getting himself to second by getting in motion.
3-2 Jackfish, one out. McGarry-Doyle at second base. Francisco Hernandez singled and scored his first time up, and we're going to get a brief meeting on the mound between Robert Mullen and Jose Dominguez.
Well, a couple of veterans here just touching base on the signals, maybe making a change here really quick with the runner at second base. Making sure that nothing's being stolen.
Dominguez from the stretch. Look back at McGarry-Doyle. The first pitch to Hernandez is a called strike. Dominguez went 6 innings his last start. Game 4 of the semis against the Royals. Has done a nice job holding the Baycats down here. 4 hits apiece, and that pitch gets inside and gets a piece of Francisco Hernandez. So 2 on with 1 out for Barrie.
First batter hit by Dominguez in this ball game, first base open, but certainly don't want to put base runners on in a 1-run game. And now Barrie with a chance to really do some damage. A big man at the plate here, Nolan Macabrota. He is due for a big moment.
Number 20, Nolan Macabrota.
Well, he led the team with runs batted in the regular season, and a rough start to the playoffs for him, but he's progressed very much throughout the rest of the postseason and fit in nicely in that number 4 spot with the absence of Ryan Rio. Hernandez at first, McGarry-Doyle at second. The first pitch is low.
Josh Matlow with a lot of confidence in Nolan Macabrota, even during some occasional struggles here in the playoffs. He has said many times, I believe in him. He can get the job done when we need it, and a big moment for him here.
1-0, 1 out. Pitch to Macabrota, and it's fouled off just on that first base side.
That pitch had some drop to it, and Macabrota just swinging right over the top half of that baseball. Just pounding it into the dirt. It's been a frustrating night for him.
That's that slider from Dominguez. One count. 2 on behind Dominguez. Tristan Clark on deck. It looks like Danny Howitt up in that Welland bullpen. Dominguez looks back McGarry Doyle, and first disengagement for him in this plate appearance.
Yeah, just a step off and a look back. The shortstop Luther sneaking in behind him, but no real play. They want to keep McGarry Doyle honest. He didn't have much of a lead there, though.
Well, obviously he's causing that stress for Dominguez. Another look back. The 1-1. Line drive into left field. It's down for a base hit. McGarry Doyle stumbles around third. He's going to have to hold up. And a smart move to throw down to third. Gets by. He's going to try for the plate. The throw from Luther is dropped. Baycats tie it up.
What a moment for Noel McGarry Doyle, and what a game for the Baycat leadoff hitter. A home run tonight, a single, and some chaos between third and home. Not unlike that infamous end of the Toronto series with that ball being thrown around. Put the brakes on, tried to get back to third, and then made the last-minute decision to scamper home. And the throw-in was close, but not in time.
That should go down as an error to Thomas Green, who dropped the ball and inadvertently allowed McGarry Doyle the opportunity to come home and score. Macabrodo moves up to second after the single, and Hernandez now at third. That one on the ground, foul off the bat of Tristan Clark.
I think McGarry Doyle was planning on coming in on the first time, lost his footing, had to scamper back to the bag. The throw got away, and he rolled the dice.
So now the entire infield in for Welland, very much like the Baycats in the top of the inning. 0-1 to Clark. It's a little blooper. Right side is going to drop fair territory. Hernandez scores. Macabroda coming around, and he's going to be caught in a pickle. Backing up towards third. He's going to try for the plate this time. Cut off by Dominguez. Clark moves up to second as Macabroda is tagged out for out number 2. But the Baycats now take the lead. And an RBI single from Tristan Clark.
Yeah, a situation like that in a rundown, you get the ball and run towards the runner. And they were able to get Macabroda, who ran through Andrew White's stop sign and was hung out to dry, but was able to stretch that out a little bit and get Tristan Clark at least to second base, but little consolation. You don't want to be thrown out in a situation like that in a one-run game.
At least 5 fielders coming in that sequence to get Macabroda out at the plate. And I was quite shocked that he was going to try for the plate, considering how shallow that bloop single was from Clark.
Well, it was a clear stop sign by Andrew White. I don't know why he didn't put the brakes on. Maybe he didn't pick it up. In hindsight, I'm sure he knows that he should have stayed at third.
Adam Odd takes the first pitch strike, and Danny Howitt, the lefty, still throwing in that Jackfish bullpen.
Give the Jackfish defense credit, too. They didn't panic in that rundown situation. Everybody converged to make sure that they were able to get that runner.
Odd takes that one just low. It's 1-1.
All Macabroda could really hope for in a situation like that was a wild throw or a dropped ball or something, but
well, Porcelato and Smybert, first baseman, even Jonah Weisner, second, all converging on that play. 1-1, On takes it up high. I'd be curious to see in the half-inning break how the sequence of how that all gets scored.
I lost track of the numbers. I don't know. You're pretty good at catching those, but
they're going to give Odd the free pass to first base. So an intentional walk.
Well, it was a 2-1 count, so that's interesting. You don't see that very often mid-count, but I'm a little surprised they didn't just finish the at-bat there and just see if Odd would chase anything.
Especially with 2 out. Odd had that second inning single against Dominguez
you never know. You might get a weakly hit ground ball or get him to chase a couple and get an inning-ending strikeout.
Well, Jaco swings and misses at the first pitch.
So they give up that 2-1 count and decide to come right at Jaco with a fresh count instead.
Well, you got to imagine also the platoon matchup, righty in this case now after the lefty gets walked. Got to imagine that plays a factor as well. The 0-1 to Jaco on the ground to second. Jonah Weisner will scoop it up and make the play at first for out number 3. But the Baycats take the lead. A couple wild plays put them up 4-3 through 6. We go to the 7th inning. Ben Davy back in the mic on Baycats TV.
For the Baycats in the 6th.
The Collingwood Brewery at 10 Sanford Fleming, producing delicious lagers, ales, and seltzers since 2014. The proud home of the Baycats Brew. Check out their retail shop and tap room and select products at the LCBO, beer store, and grocery stores. Cheers, and go Baycats!
What if a thrift store could change lives? Barrie Families Unite is making it happen. Essential needs support for those families in our community who need it most. Charity gives. Dignity empowers.
It looks like the younger brother takes the lead. Congratulations! Can I get a go, Baycats, go? Go, Baycats, go!
The 7th inning of play is presented by Stephen Beer. Real ones go.
Ben Davy and Julius Hern at Athletic Kulture Stadium. Brian Backland behind us, making sure we stay on the air here and bring you the broadcast from the ballpark here in Springwater Township. It's Ramon Enriquez for the Baycats, their second pitcher of the night, as he comes on in relief of Cesar Rosado, who pitched quite well after a shaky top of the first inning, holding the Jackfish to just 2 runs in that top of the first and giving Barrie every opportunity to muscle their way out in front here. It's now 4-3 Barrie. Baycats getting their first lead of this game in that wild bottom of the 6th inning.
I think when you look back at the Weisner home run to start this game, to think that Rosado would be in line for the win after 6 might be a stretch, but Baycats pulled it off.
6 innings tonight. Another quality start after a shaky first inning. He settled down quite nicely. One to know the count. Morello working the count to 2-0. Morello tonight with 2 walks and a strikeout has yet to put the ball in play.
Again, if you give Morello a free 90 feet like Rosado did twice, that's a valuable base runner for Welland with his speed.
2-1. Fourth relief appearance for Enriquez here in the playoffs. 6 2/3 innings and a sparkling 1.35 ERA.
He's a very different pitcher than what the Jackfish saw earlier in the year when he was with the Cardinals. Henriquez started 2 games against Welland and really struggled in both of them and lost one. In fact, after the second start, the day after the Cardinals released Henriquez, and that's when he was made available to the Baycats to pick up, and he's been a key part of this bullpen. The confidence from Josh Matlow was built throughout the year. This is why you see him in this kind of situation.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Enriquez to Morello. Inside, 3-2. At the knees, but just an inch or two inside. I enjoyed his post-game interview with you after one of the Hamilton games. Enriquez talked about how he wasn't getting calls in a part of the strike zone. I think it was the high pitches he wasn't getting, and he made an adjustment to find the strike zone, and things started working better for him. 3-2, foul back.
You know, and he still brings that velocity. He's not slowing anything down, but I think he's more cognitively involved since he put on a Baycats uniform. I think Tyler Plumpton being behind the plate in this situation is a big part of that. Trusting the veteran catcher.
3 balls, 2 strikes. Morello's ready. Pitch from Enriquez. Low ball 4. A leadoff walk here in the 7th. And here comes Mateo Porcelato.
See how fired up Gio Morello was after taking that pitch low. I mentioned how valuable that he could be on the base pass in a 1-run game. You know, a double in the gap here by Porcelato would easily score Morello.
Morello is such a great role player. So many of these Jackfish players in this lineup are, but he knows his job and just simply getting on base. 3 walks here tonight. He has done his job well. Mateo Porcelato now with a man on and nobody out. The dangerous Robert Mullen on deck. No easy outs here for Ramon Enriquez. He's behind 1-0.
Porcelato 0 for 2 with another walk. With Macabrota holding on Morello, there's a big hole on that right side.
Here's the pitch, up high. A 2-0 count now to Mateo Porcelato. Close score like this, late innings. We're in the back third of this game now. Walks are the last thing you want, especially early in the inning. Enriquez has served up 1 already. Not a whole lot of margin for error here. Porcelato, the tall left-hander. Waits the pitch, swing and a miss. Swinging for the fences there, couldn't connect. 2-1.
I think with Porcelato seeing the previous pitch also up high, he's probably thinking that he probably could have caught up to it and goes for it there, but still late.
4-3 Baycats, we're in the 7th. Morello at first. Moderate lead. He goes. The pitch. Low. The throw. Not in time. Stolen base for Gio Morello.
Again, that's how fast Morello is. You noted that it was still a moderate lead, but he got such a good jump. He was able to beat the throw from Plumpton, and Plumpton didn't have the release right away. He kind of got up and then went into his throwing motion. It wasn't all one fluid act.
When you get as good of a jump as Gio Morello is capable of getting, you don't have to take that extra big secondary lead. And that was exactly the situation there. Testing the arm of Tyler Plumpton. He's able to get to scoring position here with nobody out. Porcelato can tie the game with a swing. Or better yet, for the Jackfish, put them on top if he can clear the fence here. Left-handed bat with power. Here's the pitch. Fly ball to center field. Straight away, McGarry Doyle makes the catch. A couple of steps to his left. 1 out in the inning.
In that play, if you're Morello on second base, you're able to have that freedom of maintaining your secondary lead with that ball in the air, because even a ball that shallow with McGarry Doyle's arm, I don't even think Gio Morello would be able to advance to third on a fly ball there.
Robert Mullen led the Jackfish with 11 home runs this season. He led the Jackfish with 40 RBIs. 32 walks to lead the Jackfish. Key moment in this ball game, top of the 7th, and a 4-3 Barrie lead. A hush falls over the park as Enriquez steals his first offering outside. Now, if you're Enriquez, you don't want to be too preoccupied with the base runner here. Here's the pitch. Gets that one for a called strike.
Yeah. I know Mullen doesn't like that call. He has some words for home plate umpire Jeff Rose.
It wasn't too far off from the previous pitch. I think that's what Mullen's argument is.
Well, especially being a catcher, knowing the strike zone from having received a baseball from Jose Dominguez the previous 6 innings.
1-1. Fly ball, center field. It'll stay in the park. McGarry Doyle hardly has to move. Runner tags. Nope. Holds up. The throw missed the cutoff man, but Adam Odd makes sure it doesn't get by him.
It would have been a perfect throw had there needed to be a play at third base, and Morello smartly holding up even on a fly ball that was a bit deeper than the previous one.
The throw was on target but low, and Odd had to make a nice little grab, make sure that ball didn't get by him, or Morello takes another 90 feet. So what a game for Adam Odd at third base here tonight. Made a spectacular catch in foul territory earlier. This is Grayson Barrett, excuse me. Sanford was walked. Yeah, these intentional walks can throw you off if you're not paying attention. I miss the old days where you had to throw the 4 pitches. I think you still should. 2 on, 2 out, and looking to runner back is Enriquez.
Well, Sanford has faced Enriquez 4 plate appearances this year, 1 for 3 with an RBI and a walk. And knowing how dangerous his bat is, you keep a force play possible to try and end this inning.
Obviously, Josh Matlow wanted no part of him. That was a quick decision. So they pitched to Barrett instead, but Barrett has reached base twice tonight.
Well, and Barrett 0 for 2 against Enriquez with 2 strikeouts.
The head-to-head matchups. You can dive so deep into those numbers, can't you?
Yeah. Well, I got to imagine Josh Matlow might be aware.
Oh, they are aware of virtually every possible matchup. I can pretty much assure you of that. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. Pitch from Enriquez. A little low. 2-1.
I know the Baycats dugout didn't like that call. It just missed on that low part of the zone.
Morello at second. Sanford at first. At the plate, Grayson Barrett. A 2-1 coming up here from Ramon Enriquez, and that one sails high, 3-1.
Yeah, curveball just got away from Enriquez there. This is a big 3-1 pitch. You know, you want a pitch that will get you a strike, but even with Grayson Barrett, his power, that's a tough feat to get one past him.
3 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. Enriquez looks at the runner. Hernandez behind him, trying to keep him honest there at the bag at second. Here's the pitch, and it's low and away. Ball 4, the bases are loaded. And here comes James Smybert.
Third baseman, number 5, James Smybert.
So Smybert with a walk, a strikeout, and a sacrifice ground out. Nowhere to put him here.
3 walks in this inning for Ramon Enriquez.
Notice where Henriquez sets up on the rubber. He is so far towards that third base side.
If Enriquez can pitch out of this, that is impressive pitching indeed. 3 aboard, all walks. Morello, Sanford, Barrett. One of those 3 was intentional, of course. 0-1 pitch, high, 1-1. Enriquez has to throw strikes here to protect this 1-run lead. Bases loaded, 2 out, we're in the 7th. Enriquez to Smybert. Inside. 2-1. Smybert moving his legs quickly to make sure that didn't hit him, but if it did, it would have brought in a run.
Talked about Smybert's situational hitting before, and he had that bunt in the 6th inning. Had the RBI walk back in the 1st. Now 6 RBI in the playoffs for him.
Two, 1 from Enriquez. Swing and a miss. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And now you'll start to hear some energy from this crowd. What a moment in this game. These teams had 3 regular season games decided by 1 run. Game 1 was decided by 1 run. And tonight we have a 1-run game. 4-3 Barrie, top of the 7th. 2-2 the count. Enriquez kicks and delivers. Fouled back to the screen.
I think Smybert realized late he had to get a piece of that. You can tell he was late on the swing, but does just enough to stay alive in this at-bat.
He did not want to risk a called strike 3 in that situation. I think the pitch was up in the zone. Had to put a defensive swing on it anyways. Let's see what happens here. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Enriquez trying to get out of this jam in the 7th. Takes his time, now kicks and deals. High, ball 3, and it's a full count. And now the runners will be in motion with 2 away.
Smybert faced this exact situation back in the 1st inning, a full count with the bases loaded, 2 out in the inning. And he was the winner of that plate appearance. He drew the RBI walk. But doing the same here would tie this game.
Morello, Sanford, Barrett, all on base. 3-2 the count, 2 out. Runners will be in motion. And there they go, the pitch, outside, ball 4. The Jackfish have tied this game at 4. Morello scores 4 walks in the inning, and we have a 4-4 tie here in Barrie.
The shortstop, number 20, Brendan Luther.
The patience of the Welland Jackfish at the plate, part of the storyline here in this 7th inning. And another tough out at the plate with Brendan Luther at the dish.
There are no easy outs in either lineup, and Brendan Luther had the 2nd hit of the game for Welland and has put the bat on the ball well.
So the runners now Sanford, Barrett, and Smybert. And a fresh count to Brendan Luther. Here's the pitch inside. Needless to say, Ramon Enriquez has not been his sharpest tonight. After a couple of brilliant relief outings in relief of Cesar Rosado earlier in the playoffs, he is struggling here in this 7th inning.
And Chris Nagorski up in the pen for Barrie.
Luther's ready. Here's the pitch. And again, it's high. 2-0 the count.
Saw Pedro De Los Santos warming up for Welland as well during the course of this inning.
Still just 4 hits tonight for the Jackfish. A 5th hit would give them the lead here in this top of the 7th. 2 balls, no strikes. Enriquez pitch, called strike. Well, that was just to get me over to avoid going 3-0.
Again, praise this patient approach from all these Welland hitters, including Brendan Luther. I think he was waiting for Henriquez to prove himself that he could get one over the plate.
2 balls and a strike. Pitch from Henriquez on the way. Swing and a miss.
See, and the previous called strike opened the door for that swing and that approach on that 2-1 from Luther.
And now Luther with a 2-2 count doesn't want to take anything too close. You want to foul him off or put the ball in play if you can here. Try to drive in that go-ahead run. Bases loaded. Sanford, Barrett, Smybert. 2-2 the count. And now time is called. And Luther will step out, and that'll take the crowd out of it for a few seconds.
That's a smart move there from Luther. I think knowing that's a good approach to have, especially when your back's against the wall and a two strike count.
4-4 tie. We're in the 7th. The pitch. Swung on and missed. Brought to you by IMP North. The Jackfish leave the bases loaded, but they tie the game at 4 as we go to the 7th inning stretch here in Barrie. You're watching Baycats TV and Rogers TV Barrie.
Visit Alliance Billiards and Sports in the northeast end of Barrie. A fun, friendly family environment offering pool, darts, karaoke, and live entertainment. Enjoy a large variety of delicious food and drinks on the patio. You'll come as a stranger and leave as a friend.
Fans from 400 Chrysler and Barrie Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. This year, we are the community partners of the Barrie Baycats. Community is near and dear to our hearts here at the dealerships and one of our core values, so we can support local and shop local.
Seventh inning of play brought to you by Sleeman Beer. Real ones know.
Tyler Plumpton to the plate for the Baycats. This crowd on its feet for the 7th inning stretch. They are fired up. Baycats and Jackfish tied at 4 here in game 2. This one could still go either way. Fans enjoying Heave Away, which I noticed is one of the walk-off songs in Welland. They played after the Game 1 victory. I don't know if that's a regular thing there, but
I've heard it quite a bit watching their broadcasts.
They seem to love that song there as much as our fans do. Foul ball, third base side.
See Thomas Green playing relatively shallow at third base. Jose Dominguez back out for the 7th.
I'm sure we'll have some Baycats fans in Welland on Thursday night. This series will move there for game 3 before returning to Barrie for game 4. That one hits Plumpton. Plumpton is so used to getting hit by pitches, it's pretty much second nature for him. He just tosses the bat and runs down to first.
At the plate or behind the plate, take your pick. He has been a warrior for this Baycats team.
It's pretty much par for the course that he's going to go home with a bruise one way or another after every game. It's only a matter of where.
It was interesting. Josh Matlow was telling us that Tyler Plumpton doesn't consider catching Frank Garces a game caught.
Wow. What a compliment that is. Pitches high to Hull as he squared the bunt. Clearly the Jackfish were thinking about that as well.
Well, when you think about if Matlow says, hey, Tyler, we'll give you the day off. You caught 3 in a row. He's like, no, I caught 2. One of them was Frank.
That is a true compliment. Hull with a bunt. Over to the second baseman covering for the outs. That was Smybert to Weisner. Plumpton advances.
Well, nobody in the Welland defense was calling for Smybert to go to second. You know, a great bunt there from Noah Hull, but Tyler Plumpton was not even 2/3 of the way towards second base before Smybert fielded that ball. He could have had a shot to get the lead runner.
As valuable as Plumpton is at the plate and behind the plate, is this a situation where you might think about a pinch runner at second base? 4-4 score, 7th inning.
I think he's too valuable as a pitch caller and in situational hitting to take him out of the order.
Conference on the mound. Plumpton goes down to third to have a chat with his coach, Andrew White.
Pedro De Los Santos still warming up in the Jackfish bullpen.
Very lengthy conversation here on the mound. Everybody in. And a pitching change is Brian Essery buying as much time as he can for his bullpen. So that is the end of the line for Jose Dominguez. What a beautiful start tonight for him. He will turn this 4-4 tie over to the Jackfish bullpen. We'll step aside. You're watching Baycats TV and Rogers TV in Barrie. Four-four tie between the Baycats and the Jackfish, and on a pitch for Welland, Pedro De Los Santos.
Brings that championship pedigree to the Welland Jackfish, coming over from the Brantford Red Sox mid-season. Pitched 4 shutout innings against the Baycats in a Jackfish uniform in the regular season with Welland. Didn't allow an earned run in 6 appearances in the playoffs. Remember, he had that 3 shutout innings in Game 1 and got the win. And this is now his 6th relief appearance of the playoffs. He's pitched 7 2/3 innings thus far.
In his warm-up tosses, he uncorked a wild one that sailed way up and off the back of the screen, and that got a little bit of a reaction out of this crowd here in Barrie as they're trying to get in his headspace a little bit. And certainly we saw the Welland Jackfish crowd, to their credit, were having a very lively 9th inning with Carlos Sano in Game 1, and Barrie fans may be trying to return the favor a little bit here with Pedro de los Santos. Called strike just on the inside corner to Noel McGarry-Doyle, and it's a 1-2 count.
Well, if anyone in this Baycats lineup who's faced Pedro de los Santos, McGarry-Doyle has faced him the most. 5 for 18 in his career with 5 strikeouts against the big lefty.
1 strike away from a 6th. Here it comes. Swing and a miss. Tag applied. 2 out in the inning. So Pedro de los Santos comes in and gets a big out. And now he'll face Brandon Hernandez with a runner at second and 2 away.
I think a big reason here for the pitching change, if trying to go inside the mind of Brian Essery a little bit. Now it's the 4th time through the order. Dominguez pitched very well, to his credit. 4 runs on 6 hits. But de los Santos really solidifies the back end of this bullpen. You pair him up with the Davy Mendez, as he's done before, it's a deadly combo.
So how many innings could you get out of de los Santos here in Game 2? He pitched 3 innings to close out Game 1 of this series. Just missed inside on that one. Do you think he could go the rest of the way here? And certainly if Welland's in the lead, they'll bring in Mendez, but...
Well, 1 full day of rest after 3 innings. A similar performance might take him out of play for Game 3.
Called strike. Yeah, he'll need a day off at some point. A 7-game series. Looking pretty sharp here, though, so far. Bottom of the 7th inning, 4-4 tie, runner at second. The pitch to Hernandez. Fouled off to the left. The battle continues.
He's only allowed 1 earned run in a Jackfish uniform, playoffs and regular season combined.
It doesn't get much better than that. Jackfish fans have to be absolutely ecstatic to have him as part of this Welland bullpen in the IBL Finals. This one bounces high, goes to the screen. Plumpton will take third. So now the Baycats have the go-ahead run 90 feet away, but with 2 out in the inning and a 2-2 count to Hernandez.
That's a big 90 feet for Barrie. Especially with Plumpton, not the fastest runner.
De los Santos has to be careful not to be as wild here with a runner at third now. He could give up the lead. Jackfish tied the game in the top of the inning. Barrie looking to get it back. 2 balls, 2 strikes. That one misses away, and it's a full count.
That's that arm angle. Try to go outside with that pitch, and Hernandez not fooled at all.
Well, if you lose him, you have to face his brother on Beck. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Pedro de los Santos with the pitch. Ball 4. What a take by Brandon Hernandez, and here comes Francisco.
Really close take there from Brandon Hernandez, and you can tell how locked in he was in that at-bat in the lefty-lefty matchup. As Robert Mullen gives some signs to the Jackfish infield.
You could feel these fans on the edge of their seats with that take, fearing that perhaps he might get rung up looking, but he's on first. Runners on the corners now. The inning continues, 2 outs. Here's the pitch to Francisco. It's inside, ball 1.
I believe those signs from Mullen were directed towards Luther and Weisner up the middle, and because they had a brief conference at second base right after, deciding who to take the second base bag, I'm assuming on a potential stolen base attempt from Brandon Hernandez.
2 outs in the inning. Interesting to see if they test Mullen's arm here. Here's the pitch. It's low and inside, 2-0.
Well, I think at that point, Mullen realizes the speed of Plumpton at third, and he feels comfortable enough to throw down to second base on an attempt from Hernandez.
You'd have to be 100% confident. Mullen's arm, one of the best in the league. 2-0 pitch. Called strike.
These fans really coming alive knowing the go-ahead run 90 feet away.
A hit batter and a walk. 2 out in the inning. 2-1 the count. Here's the pitch. Low and in, ball 3. If you lose Hernandez, it's Nolan Macabrota. What a moment that might be for him. Go ahead run, 90 feet away. 3 balls and a strike. Pedro De Los Santos delivers. Fouled off. 3-2. And now the runners will be in motion.
Or Hernandez will be.
Here's the pitch. On the ground to short. Luther to first. In time for the out. Crisis averted. And Pedro De Los Santos comes in and gets the Jackfish off the field. 4-4 tie. We go to the 8th here at Athletic Kulture Stadium on Baycats TV and Rogers TV Barrie.
For the Baycats in the center.
Step up to the plate at Park Place. The latest fashion, delicious dining, exciting entertainment. Hungry after the game? Stop by one of their patios or grab a sweet treat for a grand slam of flavors to satisfy every craving. Park Place, where every visit is a home run. The only North Barrie Market, your go-to for homemade meals, catering service, and the freshest locally sourced meat. Get ready for an unforgettable barbecue experience with Barrie Best Barbecue coming soon. All at North Barrie Market, 580 Bayfield.
Thinking about doing a renovation but don't know where to find the best prices and quality? Go to Reno Liquidation Depot, where you'll find vanities, flooring, toilets, exterior doors, and so much more. Visit Reno Liquidation Depot today.
Top of the 8th inning, Athletic Kulture Stadium. What a game. Welland Jackfish 4, Barrie Baycats 4. Ramon Enriquez back out for his second inning of work.
It was a tie game this late in game 1 Sunday at the Pond. It came down to some situational hitting from the Jackfish in the 9th, but they know that they want to get that hitting done early enough. Don't have to push to the 9th inning.
At bat for the Jackfish, the third baseman, number 1, Thomas Green.
Thomas Green occupying the number 9 spot in the order. Previously occupied by Brandon Hupe, the left fielder. Green in now at third base. First pitch from Enriquez. That's a called strike. That's pretty cool when the last name on the back of your jersey matches the color of the jersey.
Never really thought about it that way, but you're absolutely right.
Now the question is, has that ever happened with another IBL player? Let's go through. Colors that are also last names. Brown.
White?
White. Well, yeah, white for sure. Of course, Andrew White was a Baycats player. Would have had a white jersey for home games, so...
But
yeah.
I didn't have the name on the jersey at the time.
Well, that's true. Names on the backs of IBL jerseys is still a relatively new thing, and not all teams have them. They look pretty good on those Welland jerseys, though. Prior to 2020, the Baycats jerseys said Barrie on the back, where the nameplates are now. And that was kind of a unique design for that uniform.
Also, it gives the fans a chance to recognize the players better. I think that was the main mission with instilling that, at least here in Barrie.
Absolutely love it. 0-2 from Enriquez. High fly ball left field. Clark going back at the wall. Makes the catch. Tristan Clark. Had to hold my call for just a moment as that glove went up over the top of the wall. And somehow he keeps that in the park.
He had to go as far back as he could to have all the height to reach up and make that catch. Not sure if it would have cleared the wall. I might have to look back at that later on, but the defensive awareness he has been so valuable out there in left field.
Jonah Weisner now for the Jackfish. First pitch from Enriquez to him is low and inside.
Well, Enriquez did a really nice job in that first at-bat. He got ahead of Green early. He had him 0-2, and a high fastball that Green chased and got a lot of power, but again, just underneath it with how high the pitch was.
1-0 from Enriquez. Fastball for a strike, 1-1.
I think that inning-ending strikeout of Brendan Luther back in the 7th really grounded him.
4 walks in the inning and to only surrender 1 run. It's pretty remarkable. You can call that great pitching or you can call it crisis averted. Either way. That ball's hit pretty deep left field. Clark has a read on it. He makes the catch. 2 fly balls to left field here in the 8th.
Well, with the velocity that Henriquez has, all these left-handed hitters for the Jackfish throughout the lineup, a lot of those balls are going to go the other way. And, Green a righty, but Weisner there. He pulled his home run to lead off the game and had some power to left field that time.
Gio Morello now for Welland. Morello, 3 walks, 1 strikeout. Has yet to put the ball in play. Has scored 2 runs of the 4 that Welland have here tonight. Pitch from Enriquez on the ground to second. Hernandez backhands, throws in time for the out. A 3-up, 3-down, 8th for Ramon Enriquez. We go to the bottom of the inning. 4-4, Welland and Barrie.
Thinking about doing a renovation, but don't know where to find the best prices and quality? Go to Reno Liquidation Depot, where you'll find vanities, flooring, toilets, exterior doors, and so much more. Visit Reno Liquidation Depot today.
What if a thrift store could change lives? Barrie Families Unite is making it happen. Essential needs support for those families in our community who need it most. Charity gives. Dignity empowers.
Eighth inning of play is brought to you by United Way Simcoe Muskoka, making poverty unignorable. To learn how you can help, you can visit uwsimcoemuskoka.ca.
Well, another tie game in the late innings. Bottom of the 8th we go. Nolan Macabrota will lead it off for Barrie. Tristan Clark to follow. Adam Odd behind him. A reminder that this series moves back to Welland on Thursday night. Our friends Alec Murray and Reese Dumani will have that call for Barrie viewers at home. Welland fans will get to enjoy that game at Welland Stadium. Thursday night, 7:15 first pitch, and then we're back here in Barrie Saturday afternoon at 4 o'clock. Those are the only 2 games we can say for sure will happen after tonight. Of course, if the Baycats can tie the series with a win here tonight, that will force Game 5, which would be in Welland on Sunday afternoon. 1-1 the count to Macabrota.
Well, I know a lot of fans at this park and maybe even those watching at home would have loved to see Nolan Macabrota bat with the bases loaded in that 7th inning.
Yeah, De Los Santos threw a nice pitch low to Hernandez, and he hit it into the ground for a ground out to end the inning. Great pitching by Pedro De Los Santos, the veteran, making sure that Barrie wasn't able to regain the lead in that bottom half of the 7th after Welland tied it in the top half of the inning. That is some good pitching. 1-2 pitch on the way from De Los Santos. Fouled off.
Well, no one's had a lead more than 2 runs in this game.
Have to wonder if the whole series is going to just kind of go this way. Close scores. Good pitching. 1-2, fouled back.
Well, Welland led by as many as 5. Excuse me, as many as 3. They were up 5-2.
Frank Garces giving up an uncharacteristic lead early in that game. Something we hardly saw from him at all in the regular season, but then settled down and threw 5 shutout innings. Got the Baycats through 8.
Well, not the first time that Jackfish hitters have gotten the best of Frank Garces. The one regular season matchup that the Baycats won, in fact, was started by Garces, and if I recall, Welland got 6 runs off of him, but Garces still went 7 innings.
1-2 on the ground, up the middle, into center field for a base hit. Nolan Macabrota aboard to start the bottom of the 8th. Here comes Tristan Clark.
And despite that lefty-lefty matchup, Macabrota saw the ball really well out of the hand of Pedro De Los Santos. A couple balls that he got a good piece of but fouled off. Finally connecting on one and puts it where the defense wasn't.
First hit off De Los Santos since coming into this game. 7 for the Baycats tonight, 4 for the Jackfish, 4-4 the score. Clark bunts, and he pulls it back. It's inside.
That sidearm delivery from De Los Santos really worked Clark in on that first pitch. See how shallow Thomas Green is now playing at third base, at least 4 or 5 feet inside the turf.
You know, maybe it's just been the Barrie series that we've seen, but I can't recall an IBL postseason where we've seen more bunting and more bunt attempts. There's one right in front of the plate. The throw over is in plenty of time. Up to second goes Macabrota. So the Baycats traded out for 90 feet.
Well, especially from players that you wouldn't necessarily expect that kind of approach from.
Like Tristan Clark.
Like Tristan Clark, exactly. We've also seen the team get a bit more aggressive on the base pass, which they definitely weren't in the regular season.
I know some managers don't like trading outs for bases. Some of the more offensive-minded managers want their guys to go up there and swing in that situation, but this is shaping up to be another one of those small ball type games. Welland with some small ball in the 9th to win game 1. Maybe Barrie trying to return the favor here in game 2. Who knows?
Well, I think, watching the offense kind of go flat in the first round against Toronto, at least for Barrie, I think that taught the team you can't take those base runners for granted.
On the ground to short. And they've got the runner hung up between second and third. The tag is applied to get Macabrota on the bases. That's the second time tonight he's had a base running miscue. And now some words are exchanged between Macabrota and the middle infielders, and he would do well to just walk off the field quickly here. Seems like everybody wants to talk to him, including Pedro De Los Santos.
I'm not even sure what that might be about because, obviously I'm sure Macabrota frustrated with the situation that he's put himself in now twice.
Well, it didn't look like the tag was applied forcefully. I know in some situations base runners don't like that when they're caught on a rundown and Sometimes the tag is applied a little bit harder than it needs to be. I don't think that was the case with Nolan. I think maybe it was just a case of frustration. Maybe something was said, who knows by who, but certainly some words were exchanged there, and Macabrota wisely got off the field rather than engaging in any further discussions. It's been a tough night for him on the bases.
And it's unfortunate for Barrie because, that kind of renders the sacrifice bunt, moot because, you move the runner up to second and now you're stuck again with the runner on first.
Yeah. Now, you hit the nail on the head with that analysis. So odd at first with the fielder's choice now, 2 out in the inning. And you can essentially say, well, you wasted one of your best hitters in the lineup, Tristan Clark, who bunted to get that runner over there. So let's see what the Baycats can do with this situation. 2 outs, runner at first. Jaco takes, it's inside, 3-0.
But also, when I look at who's on deck, Tyler Plumpton now, if you get another runner on in that situation, with 1 out, Plumpton's a great bat that can hit a sacrifice fly, get a bunt down, just put something in play to keep things moving. But now with 2 out, it's impossible.
Taking all the way, it's a strike, 3-1.
Especially if Jaco ends up getting out here, you have Plumpton leading off. You got to rely on him to get on base with a walk or a base hit, or even get hit by a pitch, which he did earlier on.
That's what happened in the 7th inning. They were unable to get him in. Fouled off to the left. Some really good pitching by Pedro de los Santos to get out of that 7th, and now trying to get out of this 8th.
Well, these two guys, former teammates, Jaco and de los Santos, former battery mates on the 21 London Majors, who won the championship.
London with back-to-back championships coming out of the canceled pandemic year, and Welland winning it in 2023, Barrie in 2024.
But Jaco 0 for 4 against his former teammate.
Runner leads, 3-2. Here's the pitch, and it's lined into the glove of Thomas Green at third. And that will end the 8th. We go to the top of the 9th in what else? A tie game. 4-4 here at Athletic Kulture Stadium. You're watching Baycats TV and Rogers TV Barrie.
Visit Alliance Billiards and Sports in the northeast end of Barrie. A fun, friendly family environment offering pool, darts, karaoke, and live entertainment. Enjoy a large variety of delicious food and drinks on the patio. You'll come as a stranger and leave as a friend. The Collingwood Brewery at 10 Sanford Fleming, producing delicious lagers, ales, and seltzers since 2014. The proud home of the Baycats Brew. Check out their retail shop and tap room and select products at the LCBO, beer store, and grocery stores. Cheers and go Baycats!
Tonight's inning of play is presented by United Way Simcoe Muskoka, making poverty unignorable. To learn how you can help.
Ben Davy, Julius Hern, Athletic Kulture Stadium, top of the 9th. Barrie 4, Welland 4. Ramon Enriquez out for his 3rd inning of work, and you compare the 7th and the 8th, you really couldn't contrast 2 more different innings, could you?
No. 3 up, 3 down for Henriquez in the 8th. He had 4 walks in the 7th, only allowed 1 run, had a strikeout to close it out. But that run is what has us, tied going into the 9th.
So the Jackfish will try to take a lead to the bottom of the 9th inning. It'll be Mateo Porcelato, Robert Mullen, Jake Sanford to try to break on top of this 4-4 tie here. First pitch strike from Enriquez. Well, some of these fans might have expected to see Carlos Sano out here in the 9th inning, but the way Enriquez worked his way through that 8th, manager Josh Matlow deciding to just kind of keep rolling with him and see what happens here. That one's high, 1-1.
Well, and Sano not throwing at the moment, so I agree with you. I think that 8th inning really gave some confidence to the manager Josh Matlow that keep Henriquez in this game and potentially save Sano for extra innings if it needs to.
1-1 pitch. Called strike, inside corner. Porcelato asking where. Just caught the inside half of the plate. 1-2 the count. Porcelato 0 for 3 tonight. Ramon Enriquez with the 1-2 pitch. It's low, 2-2. Two. Just missed. Outside, 3-2. Well, if the Welland Jackfish drop game 2 here, certainly they will look at the 1st inning and the 7th inning as missed opportunities tonight, despite scoring runs in those 2 innings. Only 2 runs after sending 8 men to the plate in the 1st, and only 1 run with 4 walks in the 7th. Swing and a miss. Porcelato down. That's strikeout for IMP North, 1 away.
Well, yet again, Porcelato chases that high fastball. You mentioned that Welland's now left 9 on base in this game, and those are definitely the 2 innings to key in on. Both games in the series tied going into the 9th inning. That's how well these 2 teams match up.
But the interesting thing is, you talk about those missed opportunities in the 1st and the 7th. The Jackfish just 4 hits in this game. They've had a lot of base runners. But I think on the other side of the coin, the Baycats are pretty fortunate. They're tied at 4 here. This could easily be an 8-4, 9-4 ball game if Welland was able to get those runners in.
A couple of swings of the bat, a couple barrels could have changed the course of this game.
Robert Mullen with a 2-0 count. Mullen led the Jackfish with 32 walks in the regular season. That's a testament to his power. Pitchers around the league don't want to make any mistakes to this guy. He's got an absolutely lethal bat. Pops this one up. And it bounces on the roof over our heads.
Well, coming into tonight's game in the playoffs so far, Mullen hitting .400 with 2 home runs, 6 RBI, and he's drawn 7 walks. Tonight he's 0 for 4 with a strikeout, so a very uncharacteristic performance from him.
Several of these Jackfish players that are normally tough outs have struggled at the plate uncharacteristically tonight. That pitch is high. It's now 3-1 to Mullen. Mentioned Porcelato, 0 for 4 with a walk. Weisner is 0 for 4 after his solo home run to lead off the game.
Well, Welland has twice as many walks as they have hits.
You see some strange things. You watch baseball long enough. 3-1 pitch. And it's a walk to Robert Mullen. He's aboard 1 out here in the 9th inning.
So 9 walks for the Baycats staff, now 5 for Henriquez.
Maybe he should only pitch even-numbered innings. It's just, try to explain it. 4 walks in the 7th, 3 up, 3 down 8th. Now another walk here in the 9th. He's the San Francisco Giants of the Barrie Baycats pitching rotate. So the Giants who won World Series
10, 12, and 14.
Even-numbered years. Maybe Enriquez likes even-numbered innings. So Sanford will bat with a man on. 1 out. Pitch is high and outside.
There was a situation, I'll reference that game again when the Barry's only win against the Jackfish this year at this ballpark. Jake Sanford had a chance to blow the game open and grounded into a double play to end that. I believe it was the 8th inning. Barrie ended up coming back to win the game.
That was a 1-run win for the Baycats and their only win over the Jackfish in the regular season. Inside and low, 2-0 now to Jake Sanford.
You got to imagine his approach now is, to stay patient, let Henriquez get one over.
How long is the leash on Ramon Enriquez here in this 9th inning? Runner on, 1 out. He'll pitch to Sanford with a 2-0 on the way. Here it comes. Swing and a miss. That ball stayed right underneath Tyler Plumpton. Mullen stays put at first base.
It's that rocket of a fastball. He had to get it over, and I think Sanford noticed it was on the way and tried to put some power behind it.
Ground ball could end the inning. The Hernandez brothers shifted slightly to the right. Double play depth. Pitch is high and outside. 3-1.
Carlos Sano warming up again. Hoodie off. And we talked about this in the half-inning break. If Henriquez gets into trouble, holding Sano off this long, you might see him come in sooner than later.
These Jackfish hitters are not chasing bad pitches tonight. You have to throw strikes. And Enriquez will have to do that here with a 3-1 count. Sanford's ready. Plumped in the target. Enriquez takes an extra moment. Almost kind of daring him to call time. Throws the pitch anyways. So Sanford finally called time.
We've noticed that quite a bit. A lot of hitters getting the benefit of some late time calls.
It almost seemed like Enriquez wanted him to call time, and finally Sanford did. And then Enriquez threw the pitch anyways. 3-1. Here it comes. Swing and a miss.
It's the exact same pitch it would have been had the previous throw on that time call counted.
Would Sanford have swung and missed at it? We'll never know. Couldn't connect on that one, and it's a 3-2 count. I mean, that might have been a brilliant move by Enriquez, really, when you think about it. Forcing Sanford to call time, stepped out of the box, interrupted his rhythm. You talk about batters interrupting pitchers' rhythms. I think Enriquez did that to Sanford. The 3-2. Foul back.
Keeps the same height on the fastball, moves Sanford a little bit further inside. But if you can get a fastball low and Sanford a chase, that's asking for a double play ball.
I would expect Enriquez to keep the ball low in the zone here. The 3-2 coming up. See if you can induce that ground ball. Payoff pitch coming once again. Here it is. Swung on and missed. A strikeout for IMP North. 2 strikeouts in the inning for Ramon Enriquez. And here comes Grayson Barrett.
3 Ks in the outing so far now for Henriquez, and that might be it for him. Here's Josh Matlow on his way out to the mound.
Well, that was the matchup he wanted. Enriquez versus Sanford. They got the strikeout. And I think Josh Matlow's already signaled to the bullpen. We'll see if Sano comes running in. What an outing for Ramon Enriquez. Allows just 1 run in the 7th. Gets an appreciative hand from the Baycat faithful here at Athletic Kulture Stadium. He will turn this 4-4 tie over in the top of the 9th inning. We'll step aside. You're watching Baycats TV and Rogers TV Barrie. 4-4 tie, Baycats Jackfish, Game 2 of the IBL Championship Series. If you love baseball and you love close scores and nail-biting finishes, we're in for another one here tonight. Carlos Sano will be Barrie's third pitcher of the evening.
Well, Sano pitched the ninth inning of Game 1, didn't record an out, ended up taking the loss. It's a small ball approach, as we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, from the Jackfish that ended up getting the job done. Grayson Barrett, he's faced Sano once in his career and was 0 for 1.
Grayson Barrett will bat with a runner on and 2 out. Swing and a miss, strike 1.
Sano was 6-1 in the regular season. He's 1-2 in the postseason. 1 save in these playoffs as well. Only 5 1/3 innings pitched. 4 strikeouts, but he's walked 5.
One of those walks was the leadoff man in the bottom of the 9th inning in Game 1, and we all remember how that ended. Sano with a long look in. Swing and a miss, strike 2.
It looked like a bit of an off-speed pitch there from Sano, but Barrett still laid on the swing.
Carlos Sano with the pant legs back down to the normal length today, despite the Welland Jackfish fans loving the short shorts that he was wearing in Game 1.
I mentioned to you earlier, I think it's a home road thing. See him a lot at home in the full pants, but on the road he's got the tights and the pants hiked up to the thigh.
0-2 pitch, high and away. So you think Game 3 he goes back to the shorts again?
If he has to be used, I think that's
Maybe.
the case.
One ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Grayson Barrett at the plate, runner at first. Jackfish Baycats tied at 4. Here's the pitch. Low, 2-2. This crowd on the edge of its seats.
Well, Sano in the regular season on the road at an ERA of just over 1.3, had 4 saves, was 2-0, but at home in the regular season, 3-1 in 9 appearances at 0.69 ERA.
2-2 pitch coming up. Here it comes. Swing and a miss, strike 3! Who wears the pants? Carlos Sano does. Down go the Jackfish at the top of the 9th. Barrie with a chance to walk it off when we return. 4-4 at Athletic Kulture Stadium, Game 2 of the IBL Championship Series.
Friends from 400 Chrysler and Barrie Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. This year, we are the community partners of the Barrie Baycats. Community is near and dear to our hearts here at the dealerships and one of our core values, so we can support local and shop local.
Visit Alliance Billiards and Sports in the northeast end of Barrie. A fun, friendly family environment offering pool, darts, karaoke, and live entertainment. Enjoy a large variety of delicious food and drinks on the patio. You'll come as a stranger and leave as a friend.
Ninth inning of play brought to you by United Way Simcoe Muskoka, making poverty unignorable. To learn how you can help, you can visit uwsimcoemuskoka.ca.
Can you handle another tie score in the bottom of the 9th inning? You're going to get one here in Game 2. It was the Welland Jackfish walking it off on Sunday afternoon over the Baycats in Game 1 at Welland Stadium. Barrie will try to return the favor here at home tonight. Tyler Plumpton can end this game with one swing of the bat. And he will face left-hander Pedro De Los Santos here in the ninth. De Los Santos wasting no time. First pitch, called strike.
Well, Barrie used their closer in a tie game in this ninth inning with Sano getting that final strikeout of Grayson Barrett to get us to this point. Davy Mendez now warming up for Welland.
Down the line foul, 0-2 to Plumpton. Plumpton tonight, 0 for 2, hit by a pitch. Could get no farther than third. Designated hitter Noah Hull is on deck. 0-2 pitch. Popped up, it's in foul territory. So the count holds at 0-2. Talk about poetic justice. Carlos Sano on the mound in the bottom of the ninth inning when Welland took game one and perhaps getting a win here in game two if Barrie can walk it off. But there's a weak ground ball by Plumpton for the first out of the inning.
This telecast is presented by the authority of the Inter-County Baseball League and the Barrie Baycats Baseball Club. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent. Any rebroadcast, reproduction, or retransmission in any form is strictly prohibited.
What a ball game and what a finish we're going to be in for here tonight. 4-4, bottom of the ninth inning. Welland Jackfish trying to send this to extras. Noah Hull takes the first pitch for a called strike. Hull has yet to reach base tonight. 0-1 from De Los Santos. Upstairs.
We had that sacrifice bunt in the seventh, which helped Plumpton get into scoring position, but Baycats couldn't cash in.
Swing and a miss. Baycats win tonight. This becomes a best-of-5 series. Jackfish looking for a 2-0 stranglehold to bring back home with them for Game 3 on Thursday night. 1-2 coming up from Pedro De Los Santos. Here it is. Called strike 3. Hull knew it before the umpire even rang him up. Caught looking, 2 out in the ninth.
Well, keep in mind when Welland won their championship in 23. Barrie won the first 2 games of the series, even though Welland had home field in that series as well. So anything can happen in a best-of-7.
Yeah, that series turned in a hurry, it seemed, almost just in a blink of an eye. There's a high fly ball down the line, and it'll bounce foul over near the Welland bullpen. And McGarry Doyle is going to need a new bat.
Yeah, just near the top, end of the bat there, McGarry Doyle, and got a good chunk of the barrel on it, but not in a good spot.
Surprised they don't have the bonfire going in the Baycat bullpen tonight. It's a chilly evening, and that's where that bat would be headed. 0-1 from De Los Santos. Up high, 1-1. The Hernandez brothers are on deck. Brandon and Francisco.
Well, this is now the second time through the order for De Los Santos.
1-1 to second. And the ball is misplayed by Jonah Weisner. 99 times out of 100, he gloves that cleanly. And just in and out of the glove. No explanation for that with 2 outs in the ninth.
Such a weird misplay there for Jonah Weisner, usually so sure-handed up that middle infield for Welland, and especially with Noel McGarry Doyle now being the base runner, that's that could be a game changer.
Weisner inexplicably just unable to glove that easy ground ball cleanly, and the Jackfish will try to just relax here and get this third out, send it to the 10th. Brandon Hernandez at the plate. First pitch to him, swing and a miss. Just got a piece of it. A foul ball for a strike. Brandon at the plate, Francisco on deck. 2 outs.
Weisner had 12 errors in the regular season, but often playing shortstop.
0-1 pitch. Strike 2. And now Pedro De Los Santos, 1 strike away from sending us to the 10th inning.
Brandon Hernandez does have a home run in his career against De Los Santos. That came last year when he was a member of the Kitchener Panthers.
No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. This game well over 3 hours and about to get a whole lot longer as we head to the 10th inning. The Jackfish and the Baycats tied at 4 here in Game 2 on Rogers TV and Baycats TV.
Thinking about doing a renovation but don't know where to find the best prices and quality? Go to Reno Liquidation Depot, where you'll find vanities, flooring, toilets, exterior doors, and so much more. Visit Reno Liquidation Depot today.
Step up to the plate at Park Place. The latest fashion, delicious dining, exciting entertainment. Hungry after the game? Stop by one of their patios or grab a sweet treat for a grand slam of flavors to satisfy every craving. Park Place, where every visit is a home run. The only North Barrie Market, your go-to for homemade meals, catering service, and the freshest locally sourced meat. Get ready for an unforgettable barbecue experience with Barrie Best Barbecue coming soon. All at North Barrie Market, 580 Bayfield.
Bonus baseball here at Athletic Kulture Stadium. Playoff style. IBL Championship Series style. Game 2. Welland up 1-0. 4-4 tie, top of the 10th. Baycats unable to walk it off against Pedro de los Santos, who put on some incredible pitching in the late innings here tonight. In relief of Jose Dominguez.
Second time in the series he's entered in the 7th inning and held the Baycats at bay. So really nice relief pitching from him.
Called strike. Smybert checked his swing, but it was called strike anyways. So Smybert, Luther, and Green to bat here for the Jackfish in the 10th inning against Carlos Sano. Sano with a walk and 3 strikeouts in the top of the 9th inning. Called strike. 2-1, or 1-2, excuse me.
Welland is 1-0 in extra innings this postseason. Barrie, this is their first extra innings game. Baycats 6-2 in extras in the regular season. Welland 0-2.
One, 2 from Sano. Fly ball, right field, pretty deep. And it's over the head of Jaco. Against the wall, picks it up. A double for James Smybert to start the 10th inning.
I don't think Jaco played that as well as he wanted to. He was caught with a late break going back, and I'm not sure if he realized how far that ball was going to carry over his head. Leaped, with some hope that he was going to haul it in, but gets over his head and off the wall.
That's the first deep fly ball they've hit to right field tonight, I think. Tristan Clark's made a couple of nice catches in left.
Aside from the home run.
Yep. So it is Brendan Luther with the runner in scoring position in the 10th inning. Mentioned off air, no ghost runner to start the extra innings, thankfully, but there's a bunt in front of the mound. Sano, one play. It's the first, and they get him. Runner at third with 1 out. So Luther does his job.
Well, I think Sano learned from game 1 of this series, a 9th inning bunt against him. He went to third base, try to get the out there. But now I think the pressure off a little bit, knowing that's the top of the 9th instead of the bottom.
This is basically played out like a regular season 10th inning with the runner at second and nobody out. That's pretty much what happened anyways. Of course, Smybert had to hit the double to create that situation, but now you got a runner at third, 1 out. This is a situation we saw time and time again in the regular season. Runner at second, bunt him to third, now try to bring him in. Thomas Green has yet to reach base tonight. Try to bring in the go-ahead run here. First pitch, outside.
I don't think Thomas Green would have thought he would be in this situation when the game started. Pinch hit for Brandon Hupe in the 6th.
Fouled over our heads. 1-1. Baycat bullpen quiet right now. They will squeeze every drop of juice that they can get out of Carlos Sano. Really nobody better right now to have in a situation like this in a tie game, extra innings. And I would have to think the same would be for Davy Mendez if and when he enters this game. It looks like he's getting ready for the bottom of the 10th.
Yeah, he's still warming up and has been for at least an inning and a half.
One ball, one strike. Green is ready. Pitch from Sano. Called strike 2. Well, we had one game already this season go past midnight. Do you think we might have another?
We're an hour and 5 minutes from that.
We went one pitch. Oh, listen to them all behind me here. Jeez. Like I have any power over the outcome of this. These guys give the broadcasters' words far too much power. 1-2. Listen to this crowd behind Carlos Sano. Here's the pitch. Fly ball. Down the right field line. Foul. 1-2 the count.
I think a strikeout here would be best case scenario for Carlos Sano. That would give the defense a chance to relax a bit and, put one forced play, make that a possibility to get out of the inning.
You might almost be glad that wasn't a fly out to right field, because Smybert would have been tagging and coming home with one out. So
I don't even think Jacob moved. I think he had the presence of mind to not even pursue the baseball, knowing that that's a possibility.
That's a catch you don't want to make if it's going to be a foul ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Sano looking for the strikeout here. The pitch. Fly ball. Left center field. McGarry Doyle under it, makes the catch. Smybert tags. Was a little late on the tag, but he's got plenty of time to come home and score, and the Welland Jackfish lead 5-4.
I think they called something back, because Green's now back at the plate. Smybert having to go back to third base.
Well, McGarry Doyle made that catch. I have no idea what's going on. This should be a 5-4 game.
Because if it was catcher's interference, they give
Number 1, Thomas Green.
They give him first base if it was catcher's interference, so I'm not even sure what the call is here. I think maybe someone had to have called time.
So what's the count, 1-2?
Yes.
It says 0-0 on the scoreboard, but it's a 1-2 count to Green. Swing and a miss, strike 3. 2 out in the inning. We don't know why that runner's still at third. We'll try to find out. It looked like a pretty standard catch and tag to me.
Someone had to have called time for that play to have been possible. Would have had to be the batter, and then I imagine Green, not knowing if he got time allowed to him, had to try to swing at that with 2 strikes.
But why would you swing if you called time? That's my question.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If he was unsure that he got the time allowed to him, he would have had to try and protect the plate and swing at that pitch.
These fans here are just as confused as we are. We'll try to get an explanation in the half inning here. 4-4. Sano's pitch inside. So the go-ahead runner still at third base. James Smybert. Baycats catching a break here. Somehow. We'll try to get an official explanation. I'm sure our viewers will want to know. Particularly Welland fans. Even Noel McGarry Doyle looked confused in center field. He made the catch. That's a called strike, 1-1. So Luther with the sac bunt, and then Green with a strikeout. Those are the 2 outs in the inning. It's Wisner at the plate. Runner at third, 2 out. One on one the count. Here's the pitch. Fly ball, deep left field. Clark, a long way to go. It's in foul territory. Dives, and it's just out of his reach. What an effort by Tristan Clark.
Such a long way to go and try and make that play. And again, the way that Clark has been, defensively aware, he's putting his body on the line. It's so commendable for this Baycats team.
Maybe his best defensive game of the year, and that one was a lot closer than I think anybody expected. What an effort.
Especially with, the dew now kind of setting in on the grass. He had a chance to kind of slide on the grass a little bit instead of a sudden impact on the dive.
Would have been an inning-ending catch. It's a 1-2 count with 2 out to Wisner. Here's the crowd. Go-ahead run at third base, James Smybert. Wisner trying to drive him home. 1-2 pitch. High and away, and the count is even 2-2. Most of these fans at Athletic Kulture Stadium still here. They are locked into this ball game. You sat through all this tonight. These fans are not going anywhere. 10th inning, 4-4. Go-ahead runner at third. Carlos Sano with a 2-2 count on Jonah Wisner, and now he wants time. If what you suspected was right about Thomas Green, you have to wonder how he's feeling right now. Calling time and then driving in what would have been the go-ahead run, but it didn't count. Two-two pitch from Sano. Swing and a miss! Bottom of the 10th we go. The Baycats another chance to win game 2. We're tied at 4 here at Athletic Kulture Stadium.
Thinking about doing a renovation but don't know where to find the best prices and quality? Go to Reno Liquidation Depot, where you'll find vanities, flooring, toilets, exterior doors, and so much more. Visit Reno Liquidation Depot today.
Step up to the plate at Park Place. The latest fashion, delicious dining, exciting entertainment. Hungry after the game? Stop by one of their patios or grab a sweet treat for a grand slam of flavors to satisfy every craving. Park Place, where every visit is a home run. The only North Barrie Market, your go-to for homemade meals, catering service, and the freshest locally sourced meat. Get ready for an unforgettable barbecue experience with Barrie Best Barbecue coming soon. All at North Barrie Market, 580 Bayfield.
Bottom of the 10th inning, Baycats, Jackfish tied at 4. Davy Mendez on the pitch for Welland.
Jackfish closer, and was kind of seeing how late Pedro de los Santos was going to go in this game before ceding the floor to Davy Mendez.
Francisco Hernandez can end this game with one swing of the bat. Mendez, one of the best in the biz.
1-0 in these playoffs, a 1.58 ERA and 2 saves. Had 6 saves in the regular season and an 0-1 record.
High fly ball, left field, pretty deep. Back at the wall. Goodbye! One pitch was all it took for Francisco Hernandez to send this crowd into delirium. And the Baycats have tied the IBL Championship Series at a game apiece.
One swing was all it took from Francisco Hernandez. He's led this team offensively all postseason long, and he's keeping this performance up with a huge home run to give the Baycats a Game 2 victory.
Can you believe this ball game? And can you believe this series so far? Consecutive one-run victories. One for the Jackfish, one for the Baycats. Alec and Reese, over to you gentlemen for Game 3. Barrie, Welland tied at 1 as this series goes to Welland Stadium on Thursday night. Final tonight in 10, Barrie 5, Welland 4. For Julius, Hern, Backland, and our entire Baycats TV crew, good night from Athletic Kulture Stadium.